Good morning, Cameroon, and good morning, the world. From where are you watching us today? Maybe in the comfort of your bed, maybe also as you are preparing to step out of the home to go conquer the day, or maybe you're just sitting on your table and having a hot drink, thinking how this day will look like. However you are watching us this morning, receive a big warm hug from us. It's in Cameroon, it's getting colder in the mornings, and we like to know that there are people out there who share the warmth that we have in our hearts. So good morning and welcome to a new day on the CRTV and a new moment with the Hello Cameroon team. As usual, we've worked really hard to make sure that your 3-hour moment with us is not wasted. Let's start with serious issues. What's been happening in the country in the past hours? Here is your news update.
At a working session that took place at the Far North Governor's office in Marwa between a delegation led by ANAFUT's board chair, Issa Hayatu, and the Secretary General at the Governor's office, Asiga Ebana Herman, it came out clearly that the first priority of ANAFUT is for regional officials to be allocated accommodation. This worry got an answer as the regional delegate of sports and physical education for the Far North region, Hamidu Buba, disclosed that his office in Marwa has space for the pioneer officials of ANAFUT appointed recently. On the issue of training facilities and land to host services of the academy, the Secretary General at the Far North Governor's office promised that the administration of the Far North region will leave no stone unturned in finding a suitable site for ANAFUT. A greater portion of our activities are to be in the regions. We couldn't have started these activities without coming to make ourselves and our goals known to the regional authorities and to tell them what we are expecting from them and what we intend to do in line with the missions assigned to us by the head of state. As an impending task, ANAFUT will identify and recruit some 25 young boys and 25 young girls who will be trained to produce the stars Cameroon badly needs to assert herself once again in the glory of international football.
The drop in the 2018 budget adopted, the councillors explained, was as a result of over-budgeting in road equipment. With the arrival of these equipments, the rehabilitation of roads in the municipality will be top in project realization next year, among others.
We have projects on the building more market sheds, as the ones we are already doing now. We have roads, projects on water and electrification. Those are social projects that the communities badly need, and we need to satisfy them in this case.
The subdivision this 2017 witnessed a rehabilitation of a bridge that has aided movement of pupils and students to school.
When this bridge wasn't there, it gave us a lot of difficulties to come to school in the morning, mostly in time. So the bridge, with the help of council, is a wonderful thing that the school and the community are very much happy.
Meanwhile, some projects earmarked for realization faced major challenges. As such, they could not be completed.
It is very, very difficult for us to collect taxes from our business people because of the situation. And so we could not really realize what we had in mind that we will realize.
The subdivisional officer for Bafut, Achofru George, promised to accompany the mayor in the realization of the 2018 budget and collaborate in transforming Bafut subdivision.
For 2 days, heads of administrative services, directors of government institutions, regional delegates, top-ranking security officials in the East region convened Betua to review and brainstorm on the state of affairs in the region. The Administrative Coordination Meeting and Security Operations Committee Coordination Meeting for the second semester, presided by the East Regional Governor Gregoire Vongo, comes at a time when there have been lots of changes at the helm of administrative units in the East region. Making reference to the situation in the Anglophone regions, Governor Gregoire Vongo highlighted on major strides in the region for the past 6 months. Of these include the laying of the foundation stone of the Lompanga food plant, the ongoing construction of a referral hospital, the Betua modern market, road infrastructures, the appointment of sons and daughters of the East region to major posts of responsibility, the list being inexhaustible. That notwithstanding, the principal challenge remains that of insecurity and the influx of the refugees.
We decided to ameliorate security in the region, and I asked senior divisional officers to do their best to promote the presidential program of great realizations.
More on the recommendations, the governor instructed that the practice of bilingualism should be fostered in the different services and the slow pace in the application of some administrative documents accelerated.
The courtyard of the Salle de Fête d'Aqua presented a picture of Cameroon's cultural potential. These traditional dance groups from the littoral, northwest, west and other regions showcased dexterous dance steps to the tune of the music produced by various traditional instruments. On this corner were Cameroon's rich traditional outfits, surrounded by accessories from craftsmen in the littoral. What also drew the attention of the public were paintings of those that made the country's history and independence, notably Adolphe Ngosodin, Potkama, Nattegal, among others. All these are just part of what Douala city dwellers will be served during the maiden edition of the Littoral Arts and Cultural Days. An event which, according to the regional delegate of Arts and Culture for the Littoral, Francois Edimo, seeks to reinforce pacific cohabitation among inhabitants of the region. The event, he says, intends to be a cultural come-together where every ethnic group will contribute in building the country's cultural heritage. For 3 days, participants will have the opportunity to assess their work and talent through exhibitions, concerts, drama, movie projections, canoe races, traditional wrestling, patrimonial dances, among others.
Après la création et la nomination des responsables de l'Académie nationale du football par le président de la République, il est aujourd'hui temps que l'ANAFOOT se penche sur les activités à mener surtout dans les régions. C'est ce qui justifie la présence du président du conseil d'administration de cette structure à l'extrême nord.
La majeure partie de notre activité se situe dans les régions. On ne peut pas donc venir ici, comme ça, à l'improviste, commencer à travailler sans que les régions soient informées. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous sommes venus donc pour pouvoir rencontrer les autorités au plus haut niveau.
Dans un bref entretien avec le secrétaire général des services du gouverneur de l'extrême nord, Herman Bertrand Asigaïbana, le président du conseil d'administration, Issa Hayatou, a fait part de sa volonté de trouver le plus tôt possible des locaux qui vont abriter l'ANAFOOT à l'extrême nord.
Le chef de pôle et son adjoint, ils sont à la recherche des locaux qui vont abriter leurs services, des aires de jeu pour encadrer 50 enfants qui vont prendre ici à l'extrême nord, 25 filles avec 25 garçons qui vont s'entraîner les mercredis et les samedis.
Issa Hayatou, accompagné de ses proches collaborateurs, a également profité de l'occasion pour présenter les missions de l'ANAFOOT qui sont entre autres celles de l'initiation et de l'encadrement des jeunes de 11 à 12 ans à la pratique du football de haut niveau, de la formation initiale et continue des formateurs à l'enseignement théorique et à la pratique élaborée du football. Pour les membres du pôle régional de l'ANAFOOT, cette présence du PCA Issa Hayatou rassure quant à l'avenir de l'académie dans l'extrême nord qui regorge de nombreux talents dans le domaine du football.
La construction de ce pont sur la rivière Bébali est un véritable ouf de soulagement pour ces élèves et enseignants du CETIC de la localité qui éprouvaient d'énormes difficultés.
Quand on n'avait pas le pont, on avait trop de difficultés. Quand l'eau est déjà haut, on n'a pas le moyen pour traverser, pour venir à l'école. Des fois, on restait de l'autre côté jusqu'à l'eau baisse avant qu'on traverse. Maintenant qu'il y a le pont, mais ça nous facilite beaucoup pour venir à l'école tôt et pour rentrer à l'heure aussi, que les enfants aussi être très fiers pour utiliser ces ponts.
D'autres projets de développement sont également en cours d'exécution par la municipalité de Bafut. Il s'agit notamment de la réhabilitation de cette route qui relie les villages Bandji et Tchom, puis la construction de ce marché moderne de 20 boutiques.
On a le projet d'électricité et l'adduction d'eau et le complexe sportif qu'on veut réaliser.
En adoptant le budget prévisionnel de 611 millions de francs CFA pour l'exercice 2018, les conseillers municipaux ont consacré la moitié de cette enveloppe à la réalisation des projets sociaux de base. En prenant part aux travaux de ce conseil municipal, le sous-préfet de Bafut, Achou Frou George, a exhorté les conseillers municipaux de tout mettre en œuvre pour recouvrer les revenus escomptés en 2018.
Pendant 2 jours, autorités administratives, forces de maintien de l'ordre et responsables régionaux ont examiné de fond en comble les sujets ayant trait à la sécurité et à la mise en œuvre des projets présidentiels.
La vigilance que nous devons observer par rapport aux principales menaces auxquelles la région doit faire face en ce moment. Vous avez Boko Haram, vous avez les conséquences de la crise centrafricaine, vous avez la circulation des armes légères et de petit calibre.
Les travaux des réunions régionales de coordination et du comité de coordination des opérations de maintien de l'ordre ont permis de faire le point sur certaines réalisations en cours dans la région de l'Est. La construction de l'usine de pied du barrage de Lompangar, la construction de 100 logements sociaux à Bertois, le bitumage de la route Mandjou-Batouri et la mise sur pied d'un poste frontalier à Antam sur la frontière Cameroun-Congo.
L'engagement à encadrer les forces vives dans la mise en œuvre du projet présidentiel des grandes réalisations.
Vigilance et engagement vont désormais guider les pouvoirs publics afin d'améliorer les conditions de vie des populations dans le soleil levant.
Les artisans de la région du littoral présentent le potentiel culturel du Cameroun. Des groupes de danse traditionnelle de la région du littoral, du nord-ouest et de l'ouest et bien d'autres du Cameroun montrent la diversité et la richesse patrimoniale bien connue à l'Afrique en miniature qu'est notre pays, au rythme de la musique produite par divers instruments traditionnels. Ces danseurs d'un pas adroit montrent leur savoir-faire. L'esplanade de la salle des fêtes d'Aqua qui accueille cette première édition des journées de l'art et de la culture dans le littoral, des accessoires traditionnels des diverses régions, mais également des photographies des figures historiques ayant marqué l'indépendance de notre pays. Tout Tout cela fait partie des activités que les habitants de la ville de Douala auront à vivre jusqu'au 18 novembre 2017.
Ils ont répondu présent parce qu'ils pensent que le Cameroun est indivisible.
Pendant 3 jours, les habitants de Douala vont être également servis avec des expositions sur notre patrimoine, des projections cinématographiques, des courses de canoë, des danses et luttes traditionnelles, ainsi que l'élection de la Miss Art et Culture du Littoral. Une grand-messe afin de promouvoir la culture camerounaise et la cohabitation pacifique.
Now that you're briefed, it's with a lot of smile and a lot of joy in my heart that I want us to start the kind of business that I love, music. Now let's take you down memory lane. This is our retro clip. We're talking about a kind of music that got to be called Gumba Soul Ganja. If you don't know it, don't worry. I'm guessing if you don't know what that kind of music is, you're about 18 years old or younger, not older. The person I want to bring to you is a star of the 80s. We lost him on a certain 17th of April 2004. But before we had lost him, he had established a particular way of dancing, a particular dance style that was called the Nyama Nyama dance. You don't see what I'm talking about? If I do like this, do you see what I'm talking about? Oh, you don't? Oh, maybe you're 15 years old. Because this is for Le Connaisseur. It's retro clip, and it's Ali Baba. We want to remember him. I want to send a lot of hug to those of you from the northern parts of Cameroon. Just enjoy.
Wayo, oh, Baba Ami Tubi. Wayo, oh, Dada Ami Tubi. Wayo, oh, Baba Ami Tubi. Wayo, oh, Dada Ami Tubi. Nima Ami Tubi. Dada ami mareke, Baba ami wo mareke, Dada ami wo mareke. Mi man, mi woman, mi fijan, mi man, mi woman, mi fijan. Fere don janga l'école, wabbe fere don yerba couscous, wabbe fere don hadda huwa, mimi do imani. Wabbe fere don yota lumse, wabbe fere don hadda villa, wabbe fere don huwa nder biro, wabbe fere don hadda rema, mimi do imani. Mi woman, mi man, mi fijan, mi woman, mi man, mi fijan. Mi yimareke mi fijareke mi woman ganjal mi wiman gumba waya 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 music usana manga music puri jonde mere music puri mbuika baba ya family dada jafeda waya waya.
If that retro clip threw you out of the program, the coffee is to bring you back. You know, the program is a family affair. We want everybody to enjoy. Though sometimes we'll go bring people like that, who sing like that, and that only some people can understand it the way it is. Don't mind though, that's how life is. But if you still do not yet feel like you're part of the show, this is for you. How many times do you check your Facebook accounts in a day? That's our talking point today on the program. If you're fast at this game, you probably know our number already. So send us the message. Tell us, how many times do you check your social media accounts? Your Twitter account, if you have one, your Facebook account, because I'm sure you have at least a Facebook account. I mean, how else will you be insulting the whole wide world if you don't have a Facebook account? Or your LinkedIn account, that's for a few people. So if you have one, tell me how many I want to know in a day, how many times do you go to your social media accounts? 1 time, 2 times, and why? For those of you who are new to this game, we'll be giving our phone number much later on the program. But first, it's a Tuesday, and it's about the time when we'll go to meet Parfai, who's talking to us about the treasures in our environment. Today, he's looking at bitter leaf, and maybe I should call it the tukang. Just stay with us. Let's discover with him.
Hello, Cameroon. This is another wonderful morning. I am telling you, what we are going to discuss today is another wonderful plant. We are now, this morning, revisiting the tukang, which is bitter leaf. It is not tukang weir. It is not tone. It is real tukang, the one that is the one that is bitter. So, look at this bitter leaf. It is a wonderful medicinal plant. Last time, we talked about its importance in managing diabetes, that we put it that way, the management of diabetes. But today, we are talking about another health problem, dryos. That is dryos. When you find your leg, that is, you see, under your legs, you realize that you have some black dots, you see, and it's too painful. Sometimes, you know, those suffering from this dryos find it difficult to move. Either they're always in vehicles, but to trek for a long distance, it's a bit difficult, very painful. Here is the magic solution for it. The bitter leaf plant. Take this bitter leaf. When you harvest it, get a good quantity. Get a good quantity like this. Beat it in your mortar. If you can, you squeeze very, 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 very well. Squeeze it. Put it in warm water. And then add 2 tablespoons of salt. Let the water be really warm, and you put your legs in it. You do that daily for about 15 to 30 minutes. Let the water be warm, and I bet you start seeing the changes. The black dots start disappearing, and it is also internal. But internally, I prefer you drink, because this is what I do with patients suffering from dryos. When you steep your leg in warm water, mixed with salt, then you drink this just the way you take for diabetes. This morning, really brief, but dry rot is a very, very big problem. It's a real serious problem. And you have the solution with this plant that the Almighty has given us, bitter leaf. That is the real bitter leaf. You know, there are so many varieties of this plant. But take this special one, this bitter leaf that you eat, which you call ndole. This bitter leaf plant, I mean this tikang, you can also use it for body itches. There are so many people who suffer. Sometimes in the night, mostly in the night, you find them scratching their body, you know, and then you see the fingers coming out, lines on their body, and they don't understand what is really happening. We have been using this very tikang, but this time it is not the leaf. The leaf plus salt is for dry rot. You soak it. Because that, you know, your legs remain in water for some time, as I said, 15 to 30 minutes daily, until you start noticing some change, which should be around 1 week. Now, but when it comes to these body itches, you calm down. This is the bitter leaf. Now, the stem, you see, between earth, good. Now you realize that this is earth here, and this is the stem. This is what you get. You don't even get much. Unlike dry rot that you have to harvest a lot of the leaves in good quantity. But this one, just this small one like this, you see, you beat it just with a stone or your small mortar. When you beat, you mix it with salt. And you can just rub your body. Put small water so that the salt, everything is in liquid, and you rub your body that evening. Sometimes you may criticize to say, why? How do I sleep with this powder on my body or this product on my body? No problem, you want to be healed. So I prefer you take it. Remember, we're in a village. Even though in urban towns, you can still have the same problem. But at home, this is what we use. We just prepare it, mix it with the salt, this small quantity. Believe me, this one is faster than the leaf with dry rot, because dry rot is 2 ways. We can also take it orally. I mean the bitter leaf, just as you take to reduce your sugar. So, this wonderful morning, it's a good and a happy hello morning for Hello Cameroon fans. Bye.
It's indeed a hello morning and a hello day, however you want it. We're painting the nation, the whole nation, and all of your homes, you watching us out there, our own colors. Thank you for being with us, Parfai, once again on this Tuesday. If you are interested in knowing about the wonders of your environment, just stay with us. Next Tuesday by this time, Parfai again will be here and telling us about 1 or 2 other plants that we need to know about. Now let's talk about young persons and some of the things that are happening in the country as we move towards the end of the year. One of the things you should know is that a publication is on its way to coming out that is going to be talking about how to transform violent offenders, young violent offenders, into champions of peace. And we're going to be knowing all about that in a short while with 2 persons who have joined me on the set. They are coming from Local Youth Corner. Good morning. Good morning to Tangang Andrew. Andrew, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Thank you.
All right, you're the program officer of Local Youth Center.
Corner.
Local Youth Corner. Okay, sorry about that. We'll be knowing a little bit more about that shortly. Just time for me to introduce Mambo Kelly. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, and good morning, Cameroon.
Thank you for coming on the program.
I'm glad I'm here.
You're the Communications and Advocacy Officer. Maybe I should ask you that question. What is Local Youth Corner Cameroon?
Local Youth Corner Cameroon is a youth-led organization which is mainly based in peace building. It's, as its name states, it's an association made up of just youths, and our main focus is working with the youths. So it's a youth perspective to peace building in our country. One of our objectives are the rehabilitation and reintegration of violent offenders, be it those in correctional centers or prisons or just out there. Another one is countering violent extremism. And the last one is simply building the capacities of youths in Cameroon.
Tangang Andrew, tell me, is this a new program or you've been on it for a while? And if you have, how is it moving? Because I kind of think it should be very challenging to face violent offenders, even if they are young persons.
Okay, thank you very much. Once more, good morning, Cameroon. It's not a new program as such, because we have been working on this for quite a long time now. And it has taken us so many years of research to get to this level. But within the framework of this project, we started since January, and we have been working with youth civil society in all 10 regions of the country to be able to come up with this youth positive practice memoir. And the most interesting thing about it is that it takes time to profile young people who have been involved in this initiative of rehabilitation and reintegration in centers, in correctional centers and prisons around the country.
Okay, and what exactly do you do with these young persons? What are some of the activities that you get them involved in?
Okay, the very first activity we had, that was back in 2015. We had an open dialogue with street children in Yaoundé, the first of its kind, with youth leaders and street children to know their problems. That's when the Boko Haram insurgency just started, and it was based on the research that was carried out. It was said majority of the street children had been recruited into this violent extremist group. So what we did is that we have consultations with them. We know their problems, and we were able to liaise with government to see how to solve those problems. Secondly, in the prisons and correctional centers, we create that, we build their capacities, their skills, and then we transform those skills, that's marketable skills, to transform them into entrepreneurs. So we are creating a new generation of entrepreneurs who are involved in peace building, that we use them who are involved in violent extremism once to become advocates of peace and ambassadors of peace in their various communities.
It's a very laudable initiative, I must say. Let me ask you, Mambo Happy Kelly, you are of the communication department. How do people receive this project? I'm sure you have partners. I'm sure you have persons you go to for one reason or another. What is the impression you get when you tell people this is what we do?
We have a very positive reaction from most of our partners and even other youth Cameroonians who have heard about what we do, because most of the times when they hear about violent offenders, they are persons who are to be relegated at the back of the society. They are supposed to be rejected. At
best, to be avoided.
Exactly.
That's how it feels like.
Yes, whereas it's still a workforce. Inside our prisons, our centers, it's still an ecosystem on its own which could be productive. So now we want to make people understand that is a wing of the society which could still be helpful, because we want to help them to learn skills which could generate income. And that is still income generation and circulation of money in the economy, which is still useful. So when people realize that it could actually be a thing, they were like, how did you guys come up with this idea? So many persons are trying to get involved. Many persons are trying to help in one way or the other, because it's quite new, quite innovative, and quite important for our society.
Very useful too. Let me ask you, you're about to launch a publication, and I want to ask you, from that first project in 2015 when you met street children to today, what have you achieved that will give you the impression that you are now ready to publish something about it?
The achievements have been far-reaching.
Okay.
First of all, we have been able to influence government policy in so many areas.
Okay.
One of them being now the process towards creating a national youth center on countering violent extremism in Cameroon. I think that's where it's still being worked upon between the government and youth civil society. And then secondly, we have been able to transform young people in correctional centers, especially the Boston Institute, the pilot phase of our Creative Skills for Peace project. During that phase, we trained these young people, these children who were once realized as at the sidelines of society. We trained them on skills, and it was impressive because when we were launching this project in January, the paper bags that we provided with the participants pack was made by one of those children whom we had transformed back in 2016. And now we continue with the Creative Skills for Peace project in partnership with other youth civil society organizations in the country, and I think we are beginning to gather the energies around the country. And the most important again is that within the framework of this project, we came up with a national action agenda which we have already presented to the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, and the days ahead we'll be presenting to the Minister of Social Affairs as well as other partner ministries to bring them on board. And everything we are doing falls in line with the Department of Corrections in Cameroon, or the Department of Penitentiary Administration. Their goal is, when you come into the prison, you should not leave as you came in. You should
reform you somehow to be a better person. And we hope that you continue to achieve a lot in that direction. Mambo Happy Kelly, when this is done and out, where will it be and who are you printing for? Just take us through the audience, the people who are supposed to read this.
First of all, I would like to say here that the content of the Youth Positive Practice Memoir didn't just come from researchers who did a background study on rehabilitation and reintegration in Cameroon and the various causes for violent extremism or delinquency or violent offenders, but it's also a collection of positive actions of other youth civil society organizations who have been working in rehabilitation and reintegration all around the country. And it's amazing the work they've been doing, and most of them are even below the ages of 25. And they've been doing great work. So what we want to do is for the general public to know work has been done, and to know if they want to replicate the same things, what can they use? Because it's actually like a manual to say, okay, these are the kind of persons I'm dealing with. Let me check which of these positive practices could best suit my context. So we want those kinds of people to get it, because these are youth. This is the work of youth civil society actors. So the senior ones could also use this. Apart from them, we have the government. We have other members of the penitentiary administration. But most of all, after the publication, which is going to be done on Thursday as a press conference, we are going to have it spread all around in soft copy on the internet, so that partners, funders from out of the country can also realize that there are youths doing tremendous work in Cameroon, and they can directly go to them to be able to work with them, because every organization has its address in the Positive Practice Memoir.
Thank you so much, both of you, for coming. Andrew and Kelly, I'm very happy that you came to talk about this. Definitely, it makes us proud to know that you people are doing what you're doing, and we hope that you'll be able to get many more young persons to join and be champions of peace and hopefully entrepreneurs. I want to wow you to a bit, you know. Should I give you watermelon, banana, orange, kasmango, or should I give you menzing-menzong? But menzing-menzong is for Buchi. So which one should I give you? What would you like for the morning?
I guess the lady goes first.
All right, Kelly. Wow, isn't it nice? Tell me, what would you like?
A banana would be.
A banana would do. Right. And then, Andrew, what will you take?
A banana as well. I knew she would say banana because she says that often in the office.
You love bananas, I see. Yes. I hear it's
a lot of potassium.
Yes, okay. And it's good for the morning.
Yes.
Because it's kind of compact.
Exactly.
Do you know menzing-menzong?
At all.
Oh, you don't. It's a good thing for you don't know. Let me ask you this, though. This is our talking point for those of you watching us in the comfort of your home. How many times do you check your social media account, and why? Andrew, how many times?
Once, at least thrice a day.
Oh, that's small. Seriously?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Because I have time, I need to work.
Kelly, how many times? And that includes Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, if you have one.
It will be more. Because
more like what, like 50 times?
Let's not go right to 50, but let me say 20, because most of my work is online as a communications and advocacy officer. So I always have to be online to make sure our posts are updated. If there are any questions, I have to answer them. If there are any...
In fact, basically, you live online.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for coming. How many times do you check your social media account? Tell us. Send us your messages on our phone number. In case you're new, our number is 663039233. Now, let's go talk agro-business with Priscilla Loom. I'm keeping my menzing-menzong quite close to me. Okay. It's like you're going to grab it. Don't touch it. Let's go talk tomatoes instead. Priscilla Loom is standing by in our agro-business lot to talk to us about tomatoes. Take tomatoes. Take tomatoes.
Market gardening in urban centers is very profitable because it reduces the distance that the vegetables or the crops have to cover. Thus, the crops reach the consumer still in a very good state, fresh with less blemishes. It can also last longer. This also reduces post-harvest losses for farmers who have to carry it from the interior parts of divisions, regions, and Cameroon as a whole to bring them to the consumers who are mostly found in urban centers. One of the difficulties encountered in urban market gardening is the lack of space or land. That is where farming in a greenhouse steps in. Because with limited space, much can be harvested and cultivated all year round. On today's edition of Agrobusiness, we will see how to grow organic tomatoes in a greenhouse. In a greenhouse measuring some 240 meters square, you can plant tomatoes about 3 times in a year depending on the species of the tomatoes. There are some that have a longer cycle while others have shorter cycle.
This is a greenhouse venture. Tomatoes in the greenhouse grow faster as compared to tomatoes outdoors. When you look here, we see tomatoes. This F1 Cobra tomatoes. When you planted this tomato outdoor, it takes about 3 months to start producing fruit. But in greenhouse, it takes barely 1 month to start producing fruit. Then our tomatoes last. This indeterminate variety means that it grows for about 4 months and ends 5 months. It will not grow more than they don't grow above 5 months. At 5 months, it is already matured. The fruit are already ripened. We remove them. But look at this one we call Juliet hybrid. This indeterminate variety. This variety can take 8 months in the greenhouse. It produces about 4 times. We harvest, first harvest, second harvest, third harvest, and fourth harvest.
Crops in a greenhouse grow faster because of the possibility to regulate the temperature, and in this case, warm temperature boosts growth. You can also regulate water supply, the use of organic fertilizers, and also disease control mechanisms to strictly follow up the crops, which will do very well, and the yields will also be very encouraging. Crops from the greenhouse also last long after harvest because they contain less chemicals.
We don't cultivate our crops in the greenhouse using fertilizers. We use the organic manure. Organic manure. Before we apply manure under our tomatoes, we have to sterilize the manure. When you apply manure under tomato without sterilizing it, it's going to cause what we call ammonia gas, which will raise what we call ammonia gas. And this ammonia gas will result to blight, will affect the tomatoes in the greenhouse. Even you working in the greenhouse is going to affect you. Talk about the yields. The yield in the greenhouse, it is quite much as compared to those outdoor. When you look at our tomatoes here, 1 tomatoes can give us about 50 fruits. 50 fruit. But outdoors, tomatoes give us highest 10 fruit. 5 to 10 fruit. But in the greenhouse, give us 50 fruits. Preservation, when you look at the tomatoes in the greenhouse, it lasts for when it is fully matured. As in, when we talk fully matured, when it is ripe, ready for home consumption. You can keep them. It can take 2 months without getting bad, without deteriorating. But those outdoor will not last. It will not last for 3 days. After already getting bad. Now we look in the greenhouse. We have windows both sides. The weather now is too bad. That's why you see my windows are all down. I set my windows when I reach my temperature. I have my thermometer there. And I regulate. That's the that guide me the temperature that I'm supposed to conserve in the greenhouse. When the temperature is too high, I look at my thermometer. When it is above 35 temperature, when it's above 35 degrees, I'll raise my window up. When it comes down to 20, 25, 21, our window is supposed to be down. So that is the excess of that thermometer there. If you fail to follow the instruction given by the thermometer, you know that you have a problem in the greenhouse. I will show you an example here. We look at this tomato. Look at this tomato here. This is an effect that happened on Sunday. When I came here, the weather was too bad. I closed my windows and I went back home. I realized that the intensity of sun was too high. So I spent about 2 hours, 3 hours in there coming to open the window. I realized that the tomatoes were already affected by blossom rot of sunshine. And the temperature is very high, so we have to affect the tomatoes at this stage. So this one is called sun scorch or blossom rot of tomatoes.
This technology of farming is relatively new in Cameroon, but is attracting a lot of attention because of the high yields. Health benefits of the crops, because most of the crops grown in a greenhouse use little chemicals.
Welcome back on the program. Oh, you know, on a day like this, there are so many persons that you're going to be having on this program with me. Stay with me and discover them. One of them is a lady who recently won an award. She's coming from Boya. Stay with us, you'll discover with me. If today's your birthday, I want to wish you a happy birthday. If you're still in bed, you're almost 7 hours late into your destiny. Don't sleep your destiny away. Today is the day you wake up, grab the day and run with it and paint the whole wide world your color. I want to say happy birthday to Wally Fube, Lee Paul Sylvia Yakoum, and Daniel Alain Segbe. Joyeux anniversaire, chers collègues. And please grab this day, run with it, because at midnight, another person will take it from you. And while we are at it, tell us how many times do you check your social media accounts in a day? That's our talking point. Now, very soon you'll be hearing about 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and we are taking the lead to discuss about activities that will be happening around those days. On the 24th of November, UN Women in Cameroon will be officially launching activities to kickstart 16 days of activism. But we are focusing today on what some advocates have chosen to do. One of such advocates is Kenya Sandra. Good morning, Kenya Sandra. How are you? Welcome to Hello Cameroon.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, you have activities on starting on the 25th of November in relation with the 16 days activism against gender-based violence. Exactly. First of all, what kind of activities are you going to be launching? What will you be doing and with who?
Okay, to us, 16 days of activism, it's an opportunity for us to join other people who are speaking to gender-based violence. Because it's a global awareness that all international communities are stressing the fact that the rights of women and girls and the condition of women and girls should actually be looked into. So we're joining others to make sure that during these 16 days, people actually understand why we're speaking to gender-based violence. Because the issue of gender-based violence is very subtle. Some people don't really understand it, and until we get to understand gender-based violence and know why it's important that we should stop it, we cannot be able to actually achieve the development we're seeking for. So during the 16 days, which are going to be running from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, we're going to be having an online campaign, and during the online campaign, we'll be speaking to the different types of gender-based violence that women are experiencing, which go from rape, from marital rape to sexual harassment, work discrimination. We're going to be discussing all this to make sure that the women who are actually, in quotes, like more educated, because since it's an online campaign, should get the skills they need to be able to go down to the communities to talk to other women who are more exposed or have little means to protect themselves against gender-based violence. So we're starting with the online campaign, and later on, we have an award ceremony, because we had a competition we had launched before the 11th of October, which was International Day for the Girl's Child. We'll be having the award ceremony on the 25th of November.
Okay. Tell me, what on the 25th, is it a one-day event or after you continue?
No, the award is a one-day event.
Okay.
After the UN Women will officially launch, we'll have the ceremony on the 25th, and then we continue with our online campaign.
Okay. What is the message? What are you hoping to pass on after the 16 days are over?
To me, I think that we should believe in a world where women are able to give in all they have, because women make more than half of the world's population, and it's unfortunate that more than this half is not able to give in their full potential in developmental outcomes. So we are encouraging women, we're encouraging the world to make sure that this more than half of its population should actually be involved in developmental outcomes, because statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women is going to experience violence in her life. And when these women experience this violence, the number is really great, like 70% of the women will experience violence. When women experience violence, they become vulnerable, they become destroyed, they become weak, they become shamed, and these women are
demotivated, no desire to move forward. Could I say that too?
Yes.
All right.
So these women need to know, and the world needs to join hands, especially the men too, because most of the violence against women is perpetrated by men, and if men do not join us, the fight for maybe gender equality to end violence is just going to be almost a dream never to come true.
Everything for stronger women. If you are watching us talk about gender-based violence and you're thinking of women, stop. Don't think about women. Think about your mother and your daughter. That's what we're talking about. Thank you very much, Kine Sandra, for coming on Hello Cameroon. Please keep up. What can I give you to wow your morning? Would it be watermelon? Do you know this? Do you know what this is?
Yes.
What is it? How do they call this fruit?
Casamango.
Casamango, yes. Okay, so there's casamango, there are oranges, there are bananas. What should I give you?
Bananas.
Bananas. You might run into trouble with my team, because banana is the fruit that my team takes. So what I'll advise you to hide it in your in your scarf. Yeah, so nobody should see. Have a beautiful day. Please come again anytime.
Thank you so very much.
All right. I'm going to leave you to go to Israel. That's what happens on this program. We jump from one part of the world to another like this. I'm taking you to Israel thanks to Charles Ebune, who recently visited the Temple Mount. It's the seat of 3 main religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And it's about one of the most visited places in the world, probably because it has the tomb, what is believed to be the tomb of Jesus Christ. Charles Ebune was in the old city of Jerusalem and did this report for us. Just watch. It's only on Hello Cameroon on the CRTV.
Jerusalem, the city of David, transformed with roughly 1 million residents today, and host to the Temple Mount, Old Jerusalem, the seat of the world's 3 monotheistic religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
So we are in the Christian port, and as you see, we didn't get any checks, no doors, no gates, no fences, no anything.
It's symbolic not just to, in Judaism, and not just to people who are here in Israel or other religions, but also to us who are Christians from where we come from. Did I drop a note? Yes, I did. Actually, 2 notes. I took 2 notes. I took time to really think from my heart what is it that I want to write. And the first note was obviously praying for Israel and for peace. So I wrote down that I pray that God will bring peace, that there will be peace in Israel, that those families and people who have been scattered abroad, coming back home to live in a peaceful environment, because I love Israel, and so many of us do. So that's the first piece of note that I wrote. The second one was now personal, was more praying for myself, praying that for God's guidance in everything that I do in life, in His call, praying for my family, and praying for the future of my family, and praying for my daughter as well.
This is the Lamentation Wall, the holiest for Jews, below Mount Moriah, where Abraham offered the son Isaac to God for sacrifice, heavily secured today.
We have altogether 30,000 police officers. In the NYPD, there are 30,000 police officers just covering New York City.
After today, because everything came out so real, now it's almost like I'm going to double my efforts in what I believe in. I'm going to double my efforts in terms of reading the Bible, talking to others about this place, about the experience there. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, I don't want to say I'm lazy, but I'll say I've not been to the level where I would really want, but after today, I think I'll have to drop that. Now I have to be a more committed, more serious Christian than ever.
This is the Ashka Mosque with the Dome of the Rock, the third holiest Islamic location, where the Prophet Muhammad celestially received the 5 pillars of Islam.
Seeing everything come alive. It's almost like you've been reading text, it's theory, now it's practical. So, I mean, seeing the walls, seeing the path, seeing, I actually didn't even know that Mount Zion, Mount Olives, and then there's Mount Moriah, that they're so close like that. And so it brings what I've read from the Bible coming up with life.
The Temple Mount counts 4 quarters, including the Christian one, with the scepter host to the grave, the tomb, and the Golgotha of Jesus. This is the Christian acclaimed grave of Jesus Christ here at the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, and precisely at the Christian quarter, one of the 4 quarters at the Temple Mount, one of the most strategic religious places in the world. Over there is called the Golgotha, where it is believed Jesus was crucified. And just in front of me is another room where it is believed he took off his dresses before crucifixion. These are stories which are recounted in the Bible and Christian mythologies thousands of years ago. This place is so significant that millions of Christians over the centuries have been coming here to visit the grave of Jesus. And at the gravesite of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, here in Jerusalem and in the Christian quarter in particular, a place which has been transformed over the centuries because of the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman invasion of the Holy Lands. I'm Charles Ebune at the gravesite of Jesus.
Thank you very much, Charles Ebune, for that holy trip, and thank you for sharing the moment with us. In a little under a minute, we're going to be having news with Diane Gassa, who is already here. The lady is quite close to my Mendy Maison. Please, for peace reasons, right? Don't get too close. Let me read this message, and then we'll get into the newsroom. He says, "Hello, Pochi. For me, I check my Facebook accounts 2 times a day. Morning and evening. My name is Peter Ndam. I'm writing from Equatorial Guinea. And greetings to everybody in the house." Why do I have difficulties believing that? You check your Facebook account 2 times a day. It's not aspirin, is it? Or Panadol, is it? Okay. All right, Peter, I'm just teasing you. Thank you for sharing. And what about you? How many times do you check your social media accounts in a day? I'm still waiting for the person who will say I check it like more than 10 times. There's no harm in it, isn't it? I don't have handcuffs. Look at, my hands are free. So, well, we'll meet after the news. This is time for Diane Gassa to take over with the 7 o'clock news on the CRTV. I'll meet you behind that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on the 7 a.m. newscast this Tuesday, November 21, 2017. We open our newscast this morning with some news in culture, where the 19th edition of the music festival, the Festi Bikutsi, has begun in Yaoundé. The theme for this year's festival is music and tolerance. The promoter of the event, René Aina, says this edition honors Alois Javis and Betty Joseph, 2 great minds who spent time and resources promoting Bikutsi. Yoti Kaleli Songe now tells us more.
Music lovers, particularly Bikutsi fans, have an opportunity to enjoy for 1 week musical performances by the old and younger generation of Bikutsi artists.
Il faut que les gens comprennent, dans les grosses voitures, il n'y a pas que des vendus. Et toutes ces belles femmes qui se payent de grosses voitures ne se sont pas toutes étendues. Normally, I'm not a singer. I am coming from spoken word, poetry, but I have adapted my art to Bikutsi to participate here.
Their aim is to promote the African culture and rekindle the youth's passion for Bikutsi through music and tolerance.
Our priority today is to give to the people the best music tomorrow. It was very important for us to promote that music who is the music of the people.
You can use music for everything, huh? A lot of roles. It's very, very important to use music in our country for tolerance because you have a lot of problems with terrorism.
This 19th edition of the Festi Bikutsi is to honor Aloha Jarvis and Betty Joseph, two septuagenarians who dedicated the better part of their life in promoting Bikutsi.
On today's agenda, the Minister of Public Health, Andre Mamafuda, will be in Sangmelima to evaluate the level of work at the reference hospital in that part of the country. Let's have this story and more on today's agenda with our reporter, Ashley Yu.
Will be installed today into their new functions by the Minister of Finance, Alamin Usman May. Meanwhile, the Minister of Public Health, Andre Mamafuda, will today pay a walking visit to the Sangmelima Reference Hospital, during which he will evaluate work done so far. The long-awaited flight of the 250 migrants from Niger arrived Cameroon today at the Simalen International Airport at 8 p.m. prompt. In the meantime, recently appointed officials of the Central Service of the Customs Department will be commissioned into their functions this Tuesday by the Customs Director General Edwin Fongot. Then, more of these stories will be developed and be broadcast in a subsequent news edition.
Thank you, Ashley. We now have an idea of what will be making news today in the country. Commercial motorbike riders in Fundi say no, they will not take part in the strike action planned by urban transporters in Yaoundé this November 21. The riders gathered at the Yaoundé City Council where they presented their grievances to municipal authorities. Elvis Teke reports that the motorbike riders were hailed for their spirit of patriotism and dialogue. Let's have his report.
Over 500 commercial motorbike riders who prefer peaceful dialogue over protest greeted the commitment by the government delegate to resolve the worries of two-wheel transporters with the chanting of the national anthem.
The government delegate sent the Secretary General to receive us. He said he has heard our echoes and he loved this type of movement. And the idea we came with was splendid. To believe that he's dealing with Cameroonians who have conscience about their own country.
However, the members of the Union of Associations and Syndicates of Motor Taxis of Cameroon had their own worries.
When you pay your poll tax, driving at Mairie Premier, going toward Mairie Deuxième, as you drop a passenger there, the Mairie Deuxième will hold you up and they will ask you to pay 10,000 francs. That they call it in French, violation de zone. You need to know who is an agent of the council, that they should be identified with a uniform.
The Secretary General of the Yaoundé City Council, Eswa Elwa Gabriel, who received the delegation on behalf of the government delegate, saluted their sense of patriotism and promised prompt administrative measures. These before handing over a message of congratulation for their patriotism from the government's delegate.
We, Grassmotor, thought it wise that striking is not a solution. We believe that we can dialogue it out.
Prior to the meeting, the Union of Bike Riders staged a march on the streets of Yaoundé to recall the values of patriotism, peace and dialogue in resolving Cameroonian problems.
In the Northwest region, the Archbishop of Bamenda has suspended activities at the St. Martin de Porres Hospital in Ginicom. This after an angry mob chased away the matron, accused of discrimination and attempts to move the hospital elsewhere. His Grace Cornelius Fontem Eswa in his letter expressed shock at the behavior of the inhabitants of Ginicom, from where Winston Lepka now reports.
conducted with just a few people compared with the crowd on a typical day. Only the emergency services are operational here at the St. Martin de Porres Catholic General Hospital, Ginicom. This following a decision by Archbishop Cornelius Fontem Eswa suspending its activities. And we couldn't gain access into the premises. According to a document made public by the Deputy Mayor of the Ginicom Council, Julius Peters Tumentine, a day before that decision was made public, the Chief Medical Officer here moved from ward to ward, discharging the patients, even those who could neither walk, sleep, nor sit, and they were given a few days to quit these premises.
Bishop is like a father. If you are a father in a compound, if you are a child, come and say that this is what is happening. It is good for you like a father to go and call and see the people and ask them what is happening before you take a decision.
The Ginicom society decided that if the matron cannot talk to the Ginicom society, better he should leave.
The angry population in retaliation called for a boycott of Mass and Catholic schools. The Ginicom people accused the matron of several things.
Some of the equipment which was brought by the donors, the information filtered to the population that the equipment was being sneaked out of the hospital to hospitals around the Northwest, which were best known by the matron herself.
Our attempts to meet the Archbishop were futile, as His Grace reportedly had a tight schedule. Some influential sons of Ginicom, led by Professor Paul Chojikwi, hold a brainstorming session, after which they forwarded a memorandum to the Archbishop. In Ginicom, people await His Grace Cornelius Fontem Eswa's reaction.
November 20 has been observed as the Africa Industrialization Day. This was under the theme, African Industrial Development, a precondition for an effective and sustainable continent free trade area. Reflections in Yaoundé centered on what has been retarding industrialization in Africa in spite of its enormous resources. Luma Slim Davies now puts together the following report.
In spite of Cameroon's potentials in human and natural resources, the country lags behind in industrialization. What then is the problem? This mind-boggling question is of great interest in the quest of becoming an emerging economy.
South Korea, Taiwan, has begun to implement economy based on technology. Cameroon still remain on exporting raw material. We produce rubber, but we import tires. We produce cacao, we import chocolate. We produce cotton, and we import clothes. To develop the railway in Cameroon, you don't need to go and take money abroad. You can use your wood, forest.
In Africa, developing industrialization is a precondition to guaranteeing a profitable trade facilitation, and this is of concern to the United Nations.
Industrialization is part of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's goal number 9, and the United Nations is working with the government of Cameroon to put in place our 2030 agenda. The strongest message was we need a conducive environment for industrialization, which will include energy, infrastructure, free trade, and to allow the sector to modernize.
In response to continental economic crisis, Africa needs to jumpstart growth by strictly focusing on industrialization. There is no way out.
The abuse of rights of children is a sad reality in the far north region of the country. According to Human Rights Report, many children in this part of Cameroon do not go to school and suffer different forms of violence. Samuel Sawalda reports on the situation in the Fan region.
The situation of a sizable proportion of children in the far north is far from being enviable.
In the name of culture and traditions, children in most parts of the region are in many cases subjected to malpractices which are not without physical and psychological consequences on them, their families, and the society at large. Some of the most common of these practices are gender-based violences, sexual abuses, and exploitation for economic purposes. If exerting violence on children is generally unacceptable, there are a few ones among the malpractices which are more violent than others. These include the phenomenon of female genital mutilations, still rampant in the Logon and Shari division, and in parts of the Mayo-Sava and Mayo-Danai divisions. Breast ironing and early marriages are a reality all over the region. The observation of the 5th edition of the World Children's Day, this 20th of November, therefore, should be an opportunity to reflect on ways and strategies to combat all these phenomena in the far north region, so as to give children of the region the same chances and opportunities as children elsewhere in the country.
That report from the Far North region puts an end to this edition of the 7 a.m. newscast on the CRTV. Thanks for watching and stay faithful to programs on our channel. More news comes up at 8 a.m. with Marie-Laurence Nke. But before them, I'm inviting you to continue enjoying the second part of Hello Cameroon with the gorgeous Pochi Tambanso.
It's a gorgeous affair on the CRTV this morning. You see what I'm talking about. If you don't, just look closely now before the picture changes. Diane Gassa, thank you so much for being on the program again.
It's my pleasure.
I'll be looking forward to another moment with you this week.
Definitely Thursday.
But tomorrow you're back here at the same time with Eric Christian. Ce sera pour Bonjour le Cameroun. Right now, let me send this beautiful lady out with a beautiful song from a beautiful lady. Cameroon is blessed. Beauty's left, right, center. She's called Daphne, and the song is Promets-moi. It's a beautiful story of a promise. Just watch.
Oh, papi, Daphne. Maman m'avait toujours conseillé, c'est difficile à aimer, mais plus difficile à être aimé. Yeah. Ça fait des années que j'ai cherché, je crois que cette fois j'ai trouvé. Je n'ai plus peur d'aimer mon bébé. Dis-moi que tu resteras près de moi, promets-moi. Dis-moi que tu vas m'aimer jusqu'à la fin, promets-moi. Dis-moi que je serai la mère de tes enfants, promets-moi. Mon chéri, faut que tu le saches, mon que tu le tiens. C'est toi, show and I want you to know, c'est bébé m'a dévoilé. Pété mon c'est unique, chérie, on m'a mis. Appartement de mon cœur, endolé. C'est toi, mon chéri, mon cœur tu le tiens, je te promets. Now I'm a believer. As long as you promise to love me forever. De l'amour de ma life, baby, I'm a lover. Je te laisse pas tomber, ayo, baby, never. But I want you to know, bébé, de toi je suis amoureuse. Je veux pas me décourager. De ton amour je suis comblée. Yeah. Ça fait des années que j'ai cherché. Je crois que cette fois j'ai trouvé. Je n'ai plus peur d'aimer mon bébé. Dis-moi que tu resteras près de moi, promets-moi. Dis-moi que tu vas m'aimer jusqu'à la fin, promets-moi. Dis-moi que je serai la mère de tes enfants, promets-moi. Mon chéri, faut que tu le saches, mon que tu le tiens. C'est toi, show and I want you to know, c'est bébé m'a dévoilé. Pété mon c'est unique, chérie, on m'a mis. Appartement de mon cœur, endolé. Mon chéri, mon cœur tu le tiens, je te promets. Pour le meilleur et le pire, mon bébé, je resterai près de toi. Sans toi dans ma vie, je m'en sortirai pas. Dans la richesse et la pauvreté, mon bébé, je resterai près de toi. Ne me laisse pas tomber, mais tu sais que je compte sur toi. Dis-moi que tu resteras près de moi, promets-moi. Dis-moi que tu vas m'aimer jusqu'à la fin, promets-moi. Dis-moi que je serai la mère de tes enfants, promets-moi. Mon chéri, il faut que tu le saches, mon cœur, tu le tiens. C'est toi. I'm showing I want you to know. C'est bébé, ma dis-moi. C'est toi. Oh, bébé, mon c'est unique, chéri, on m'a mis. Le battement de mon cœur, endolé. C'est toi. Mon chéri, mon cœur, tu le tiens, je te promets. Je te promets, je te promets. Je te promets, je te promets. Steven's music. Big Joe on the beat.
Thank you, Daphne. That's obviously a beautiful song. I will tell you nothing if I say the whole team in the studio was held spellbound by that song. It's like a melange. Good morning, Baldwin.
Good morning, Pochi.
Will I be wrong to say the Francophones, the Anglophones, everybody was on the spot for that song?
Baldwin especially, I should say. You made my day
I
already.
know your trouble with Daphne, but let's not open that chapter here. We will not. I say no, no, no. But, well, just to remind you, though, those of you who watched the program last time were still asking for the name of this fruit. We said we have 3 Hello days to know the name of this fruit. It's some people say it's a bit pepperish inside. I thought it was chaw, for those of you who know chaw, who know it, but it's not. It's some fruit that is quite typical of this center southeast regions of the country, and they say it's also good for to stimulate your sexual prowess. I'm beginning to give you more, so think about it and send us a message. But our talking point of today is something else. To tell us, how many times do you check your social media accounts? It's through checking our social media account a few seconds. Okay, we are one of those who check it often, that we discover that somebody called Roland Formundam is in town, the greenhouse guy from Bamenda. And he says he has come with a lot of fruits like the tomatoes you saw, you know, the beautiful things that greenhouse experiences around the country are doing. Roland, welcome to Yaoundé. And for me, we're very happy to have you around, particularly for the fruits. Now, Baldwin Sama, have you calmed down from the Daphne effect? Can we talk now?
We can talk now.
No, but she's a very beautiful lady with a very beautiful voice, and she knows how to put together very beautiful video clips.
That's why it's very difficult for some of us to resist.
No fighting about that. But let's talk about the papers. What have you been reading in the papers today?
Minister Wispochi, we begin with Cameroon Tribune that talks about the National Assembly, where work continues after the unfortunate incident of last Thursday night. In this edition of its publication, the paper tells us that works for the third ordinary session continued yesterday with the different commissions examining 4 proposed bills, especially that examining the finance bill of 2016. The paper goes detailed with what was said during the session yesterday by the members of parliament. Get that in this edition of Cameroon Tribune. We stay with that with today's edition of Alone Bilingual Daily, this time to talk about the Northwest region, precisely in Bamenda, where calm has returned in the chief town of the Northwest region. The paper informs us this morning that after a turbulent night on Saturday, breaking Sunday morning, November 19, 2017, following an attack by unidentified individuals on elements of the forces of law and order, citizens of the capital city of Bamenda have been going about their activities normally. The paper paints a picture as to what, how was the mood in Bamenda yesterday, Monday, and on Sunday after this unfortunate incident, Saturday night, breaking Sunday morning. Get the details on page 6 of today's edition of Cameroon Tribune. We leave that paper to talk about today's edition of Mutation, auction sale of Africans in Libya. The paper paints a picture as to this scenario that's taking place in Libya, this North African country presently, where so many Africans and so many other citizens in the world have expressed their dissatisfaction with the ongoing situation in Libya. The auction sale of migrants And yesterday, here in Cameroon, the paper tells us or informs us that some angry Cameroonians had to express their dissatisfaction in front of the Libyan embassy in Cameroon, saying no to the auction sale of migrants ongoing presently in Libya, and also talks about what has been happening in other countries where other individuals are also expressing their dissatisfaction with the present situation where migrants are being sold in Libya. That you can read in the latest edition of Mutation that paves the way for us to talk about today's edition of Le Jour. It takes us rather to the far north region, precisely in Kolofata, where 5 persons are reported dead after a suicide attack in Kolofata in the far north region. As per what is published in this edition of the paper, it gives us details and narrates what the situation, what exactly happened before these 5 persons were killed, and measures taken so far by administrative and security officials in the far north region, especially in Kolofata, to avoid a replica of such an unfortunate situation. Read that in today's edition of Le Jour. The Guardian Post takes us to talk about the content of a letter. It terms it revealed as Foncha's reunification regrets in lost letter. In this edition of the Guardian Post, the paper tells us that in that letter written by late John Go Foncha, he narrates how he cheated death while complaining for reunification, fighting for reunification. He weeps over the mismanagement and disappearance of West Cameroon giant institutions, and condemned the horrible and the abandoned projects in West Cameroon. Get the details as far as the content of that letter written by late John Go Foncha in today's edition of the Guardian Post. We talk about Eden. That takes us to Boya, precisely in Fako Division in the southwest region, to talk about the Boya Paramount Chieftaincy Wahala that so many English language newspapers have been talking about lately. Paper says that royal family settles on Esuka Indili as the new paramount ruler for Boya. Why was he chosen amidst a lot of controversy surrounding the election? Who succeeds to be the next paramount ruler of Boya? Get that in the latest edition of Eden. As the media newspaper talks about the Anglophone crisis, the United Nations warns against fresh violence in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. We end with the latest edition of The Star. The Star says Cameroon in turmoil. It talks about a series of fire incidents, fire everywhere. After the National Assembly, there was another unfortunate incident in the nation's economic capital, Douala, with a nightclub. Paper says that 75 fire incidents ravaged the nation in 3 months, and if fire in the southwest and northwest regions are blamed on extremists, who is then burning in the other regions, especially in the center and in the littoral regions. These are just a few stories you can read in our papers published this Tuesday morning, as we always encourage you to go to the newspaper stands and buy these papers and get to read these papers and spare some 500 francs, know more about your country and know more about the world.
And support the business of the media, you know, support the persons who publish papers, who read newspaper, who read us the news on the radio and on TV. Gordon, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Pochi.
Now tell me, how many times do you check your social media account in a day?
About 5 times. As a journalist, you need to be current.
5 is small. A day is 24 hours.
5 times.
And I catch you online like all time, every minute. So how can it be 5 times?
I may be online, but I'm not checking my account. I may be online 24 hours on 24, but I'm not checking my account.
Right.
Because it's true, as a journalist, Pochi, you may be online at times, but you're not checking your account because you have other works you're doing, you're busy working, and when you have some spare time, you check your account, what is happening.
The semantics of social media, wow, it has reformed grammar. You're online, but you're not checking it. We do that too. Like I'm online right now, I'm talking to you, so I'm not checking. It's okay. Let's not put Baldwin into trouble. Baldwin.
Yes, Pochi.
We haven't had pastek or watermelon on the show for a while. Would that be nice for you? Or this one, Kasmango, is very wild on the outside, but very gentle on the inside.
I will still go for the orange.
Oh, the orange. I wanted to buy you over, you know. All right. Well, while I give this orange to Baldwin, it's a matter between Baldwin and myself. Let's take you to Ivory Coast. You know, most parents or all parents dream of a sweet future for their children. And it starts with a good education, probably university studies, and a good job. All of that definitely starts with registering the birth of a child, getting a birth certificate. Well, in Ivory Coast, now it's possible to register the birth of a child by text message. Let's go to our partners, Deutsche Welle, for Africa on the Move. This is the report.
It's late in the evening and Jean Delmar is still hard at work in his office in Abidjan. He's a computer specialist working on a project to use smartphones to register babies in rural areas. There are many moments when I just want to give up, even more as I heard that a big company I already talked with is implementing a similar project. But I'm not discouraged. The next morning he visits Songon village. Jean Delmar is looking for young mothers to help him test his invention. His goal is to persuade the Ivorian government to implement his program and not the one offered by a competitor. These women are taking part in the test registration. We are IT experts. Why can't we recommend a very simple solution, which can be easily applied to register births? You have been following the process yourself. I say to myself, we are all guardians of our villages. Children without an official birth certificate become phantom residents who cannot be registered in a school, get an identification card, and later be able to vote. Officially, they don't exist. It's a problem not only in Ivory Coast. UNICEF estimates that more than a third of children worldwide are undocumented. In the past, parents in Songon had to travel for 2 hours to the next registration office. But with the SMS service, this would no longer be necessary. The registration is much more than a formality. It's vital for living, according to Nadej Kuma, a housemaid. I can hardly manage with what I earn. I have my house and I have to pay for all of that. Quite honestly, I cannot make it. But she has registered her daughter. I wish for my daughter to go to school and become a good person. I didn't go to school. That's why she has to, so that something can become of her and that she can achieve something in her life. In the evening, we meet Jean Delmar again in his office. He checks whether all the data arrived. But Jean cannot do anything with it because the government is still blocking his project. My dream is that we can soon implement Monlibar, not only in Ivory Coast, but also in Burkina Faso, Niger, Togo and Benin. With that, millions of children could get legal identities. Meanwhile, Jean Delmar is not giving up, so that the 2,000 babies he has already registered through his system get official documents soon.
Welcome back after that Deutsche Welle moment, and it's like that every Halo Day at about 7:30. We have this partnership with Deutsche Welle. Now let's take a moment of advertisement. I want to tell you, behind the advertisement, we're going to meet Charles Ebune, just fresh, very fresh from Israel.
Avec MTN Wanda, multiplie ton crédit et reçois un super bonus pour appeler, envoyer des SMS ou surfer comme tu veux pour 24 heures, 7 jours ou un mois. Tu attends quoi? Tape étoile 123 étoile 11 dièse. MTN Wanda te gère.
Hotel Memos, one of the oldest hotels in Buea, has received a 360-degree facelift. Both inside and outside, the renovations are conspicuous and intelligibly done to exude comfort and class. The spacious and well-organized rooms have been purposefully equipped with entertainment and communication facilities like the high-definition LED TV screens, wireless internet connection, and telephone. The toilets are impeccably clean, with a water heater for customers to enjoy a warm, soothing and relaxing bath, probably after a long journey or hard day's work. The beautifully designed lobby with ceramic glossy tiles on the floor gives a royal feel to anyone walking through the hotel. At the restaurant, the careful arrangements of the well-crafted wooden tables and chairs provide ample space for the aisles to ease movement of persons and, of course, food. With all these renovations at Hotel Memos, a very colorful ceremony was organized by the proprietor and staff of the hotel for the public to be in the know of the latest innovations at Hotel Memos. And amongst the guests were some top personalities.
I think that it is a laudable initiative, considering that this section of the municipality hasn't such facilities. There is going to be some quietness which tourists and visitors will want to have in this kind of a beautiful outfit. The council being just a stone throw from here is an opportunity for us to lodge the guests who will be coming under the care of the municipality, as well as organizing the numerous receptions we organize at the council. The customer service is by excellence, so we think we are quite satisfied, and we invite the population to make good use of this facility.
The impressions are very positive. We are happy that the promoters are getting the advice from our services to do what they are expected to do. With a structure like this, we are very confident that with the 2019 African Nations Cup, our guests will be comfortable and they will be satisfied. I have seen here that so many rooms have been added to what we knew, and I know that during their dormant periods, they organize a series of workshops and seminars to upgrade the skills of the workers here, and I'm sure they're going to complement their services with the new structure. So I'm very satisfied.
The ship architectural design of Hotel Memos was conceived by Mr. Charles Mignoli, who, in a bid to pay tribute to the first French ship to hoist sail in Cameroon, had the brilliant idea of building a hotel in the form of a ship and named it Memos after the French ship. After several months of research for the purpose of refurbishing both staff and infrastructure, persons visiting Buea certainly have a lot to enjoy their stay here at Hotel Memos.
We have internet, we have an accounting department, though we used to have an outsourced, accounting department, but this time we have in-house. There's so much, the beds are different. And you have very good TV, air conditioned, where it's getting hot, so we have air conditioned rooms. Services are very good. When you even sit in the lobby waiting for someone, we have a bar there that doesn't do glass rays or Guinness, it does bed. That kind of wine that will soothe the mouth. By the time it's going to your stomach, you are already like, you want a room here. We have standard rooms, we have executives, we have suites.
Hotel Memos has thus launched a powerful comeback in the business of hotel management and catering with improved facilities and services, especially at a time when the region prepares to host the 2019 African Games. And so the manager calls on visitors to stop by for an unforgettable experience.
Have you ever seen a ship on land? Come to Memos and you will discover it.
Come to Memos and you will discover a lot. Thank you very much, Fembunyi, for opening up that window on the renovated Memos Hotel in Buea. Now let's talk to Charles Ebune. We did promise you he's right here. You might have known that he returned because you saw that report on the Jesus tomb, isn't it? Well, Charles Ebune, good morning.
Hello, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm good.
All right. What brings you this morning? I mean, apart from vibes from Israel.
Well, I've been listening to
the news,
Yes.
and just reminded me that on the 21st of December of November 2015, there was an attack in the far north region of the country,
Exactly.
where 4 people were killed. That was an attack by Boko Haram members. And on a day like this, some 2 years ago, former French President Jacques Chirac had to appear in front of the French justice system for mismanagement and other issues. But we will be taking you to Israel in a short while.
Okay, so tell us about Israel. The first question is, how was Israel for you?
Well,
it looks very beautiful in the report, though, but you tell us, how was it?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you see what the Israelis have achieved after 70 years of existence in a desert, you like to redefine the concept of the most powerful nation on earth. Because, like the pictures will be showing, if you see Jerusalem today, Tel Aviv today, these are extremely transformed localities in the world that tell you that it is in a desert, you probably not accept. Of course, when you enter Israel as an international visitor, your first stop over should be Tel Aviv, because that is the only international airport in the country. There are 3 of them, but that is the only functional one for the moment. And when you leave Tel Aviv, when you are probably visiting the holy places, the next destination is Jerusalem, where, of course, the old city, the new city, like you heard in the previous report, the seat of the 3 most important religions are found: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. But what struck me most is the fact that despite the turmoil we see in the world, these 3 religions live together in that particular environment of roughly 1.1 mile, secured by 360 surveillance cameras with an Israeli police force, which counts roughly 30,000 people. And we are right, what you are seeing now, we are the Golan Heights, which is the northern part of Israel. This is a territory seized from the Syrians during the 1967 Six Days War, and roughly 20,000 Israelis and 20,000 Syrians live in this area, and the Israelis have about 30 settlements in this area, which of course are very disputed, but they give Israel a very vantage position when it comes to missile control systems, because it is in a hilly area. And it is in this area that we equally landed. We were 13 of us, African journalists, invited by the Israeli government to see how things are evolving. And the first thing that you hear when you land in Syria, like I was, is that you are welcomed by gunshots. That is a daily reality. It's very difficult for you to spend 2 minutes without hearing gunshots in Syria, and the destruction which is currently going on there. But on the Israeli side of the border, there is a lot of security and normalcy, because just somewhere there, this is the Galilee area where the Jordan River is equally found, and there is a hospital, the Galilee Heritage Center, which takes care of those people wounded in Syria. Now they treat them without considering their religion, their political background, the country from where they come is basically a humanitarian affair. So Israel is a quite unique place to be. I was very humbled and honored to be in the most sacred places on earth, where Abraham offered the son Isaac as a sacrifice, where Prophet Muhammad went to the heavens according to the Quran to get the 5 pillars of Islam, and the tomb of Jesus, the Golgotha, where he removed his dresses. And these are very unique places that when you hear the stories in the Bible, you think that they are not real, but they are real. But I would like to end with this, the Wall of Jerusalem, of course, where you have to write a piece of prayer request and drop and ask for forgiveness and ask for whatsoever, which is the most holy place in the Judaism religion. But I would like to end with this. The Ashka Mosque in particular, it's an area exclusively for Muslim, and it's managed by a Jordanian humanitarian organization. When you reach at that place, there are there is a lot of screening that you have to go through. It's an element of hatred and jealousy that some of us practice here. It's a story I would like to share. I asked if I can touch the wall. I was told that I cannot touch the wall, just like I cannot go inside the mosque because I'm not a Muslim. I tried to explain that, no, it's just for religious purposes and whatsoever. And the first question they asked me amongst the other questions that, where are you coming from? I said from Cameroon. There were two young guards of roughly between 18 to 22 years. And the young Muslim guy just looked at me and said, you come from the country of Samuel Eto'o, the great footballer? I said, yes. And all the rest was managed. So while we spend time hating Eto'o, insulting, wishing him all the bad luck, there is somebody at the mosque praying for him every day that more success should come. What I'm simply saying is that we should learn to celebrate people when they are good, even when we don't like them.
Do you remember what is written in the Bible about Jesus Christ? He said something about a prophet not being
recognized in his own
Good job. Right, let's finish it for us, you know. So, Charles Ebune, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Pochi.
We'll be looking forward to another moment with you on Thursday this week.
I will be here on Thursday with a story with the saltiest water on earth, and which is equally the lowest point on earth. But insofar as our own Cameroon history is concerned, I will be here with the life of Professor Godlieb Lobemonikoso,
all right,
whom we lost recently.
Well, do you like Bikutsi though? I hear you're kind of very close to these people who dance Bikutsi.
Absolutely.
Don't ask us what we're talking about, though. It's between Charles and myself. But we are about to give you
to all of them.
Right. It's called the International Festival of Bantu Music. It's Festi Bikutsi, and Annabelle Fossap is telling us a lot more about what this season's or this year's Festi Bikutsi will be looking like.
The 19th edition of the International Festival of Bantu Music, Festi Bikutsi, opened its doors recently to the public at its usual venue, Camp Eneyo in Esasi, Yaoundé. The event kick-started with a press conference under the theme Music and Tolerance.
Qu'elle soit Betty, qu'elle soit Bassar, je pense qu'il y a là une dynamique de rapprochement, une dynamique de réconciliation, une dynamique, j'allais dire, d'intégration nationale pour utiliser un terme à la mode.
With very high-profile panelists to analyze the theme, the public was equally ferried through a workshop on music as a source of therapy. This was illustrated by Joe Ngala, PhD research student at the British Academy of Sound Therapy.
Part of what I'm doing is to bring you the confidence to understand yourself, to manage yourself, to diagnose yourself before going to the doctor. And that's it is more important than anything, because I'm not sure even if the rational medicine, as a modern medicine, can help everybody who doesn't have enough money to achieve that. But if you can manage properly yourself before going to hospital, that's more better than waiting to go to hospital, because there's no chance that you will find a room to heal yourself over there.
All right. Tell us about the instruments you use and how a typical session can look like.
Okay, I use many different instruments, include gongs. As I saw you earlier, it's a Chinese drum. The one I use is two gongs. One is son gong, and another one is wave gong. This is like wind gong. They have different frequency because the way they made 80 centimeters. I use this one. They're very powerful in terms of washing out everything inside your system, include muscles problem, back pain. Sometimes I can warn you. Sometimes people say during the session they saw some visual image and things like that. That's part of the therapy.
Call him the man that understands the language of musical instruments. He says this idea goes as far back as the days of his grandfather. Therefore, it is not new and has similarities to yoga.
Yoga, almost the same. The difference is I use instrument and I use a facilitation. The yoga have different methods that your body, it can be some move who put in you in very special disposition to find your meditation state. But what we do, and we use the sound. The sound is even more powerful than the yoga because it is less physical in terms of physiology side of it. Yoga can be physiological more than psychological.
Festibi could see you don't want to miss that moment, but of course there are many more of cultural appointments you want to know about. Just open your ears and your eyes wider and you will catch them. Now this is a very special moment because we're going to be talking to a young Cameroonian who's a laureate of a leadership program, and a special one. She's here with Moki Edwin Kinzeka. Good morning, Moki.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Maybe because she's quite near to where you're coming from, let's give you that. Let's give you that moment to present her.
Banksy, you are process supervisor reduction unit at Alucam.
Exactly.
But you were out of the country for about 3 weeks.
Exactly.
In this leadership program. But before we get there, where are you from?
I'm from the Northwest Province.
Northwest region.
Yes, yeah. That's Banso girl.
Kimbo girl.
I like to call myself Banso princess.
Wow. All right.
But as you say, what in Lamso, you may not be able to do.
Saka Yodru.
All the Banso people watching us, Saka Yodru. Now.
Okay, let's just see. She's from America, as I said, to participate in this program, and she was selected among 48 others from the whole of Africa.
No, the whole world.
Whole of the world.
Yeah.
Wow. Cameroon was represented.
Exactly.
Now, let's see what the program was all about.
Be what you can't see. And we need strong women role models to be able to identify with them.
Spending 3 weeks with American trailblazers like NASA scientist Florence Tan.
What made you think that a young girl could do this?
Star Trek really inspired me, and I thought, wow, I want to work in space.
According to the World Economic Forum, women earn only 1/3 of undergraduate STEM degrees, despite accounting for 60% of college graduates.
If you Google what is a programmer, you will see only men. So the stereotypes are all around the world.
Florence Tan is no stranger to being the only woman in the room. Born in Malaysia, she came to the U.S. for college, starting at NASA in the 1980s, working on landmark missions like the famous Cassini probe to Saturn.
What is important about mentoring women from other countries?
By 2024, there will be almost 1 million engineering and computer science jobs. We don't have enough people to do this work. Women.
So we need women for these.
We need women. This is just for the national good.
An untapped source of badly needed talent brought out of the shadows and into the labs. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Persis Banksy was part of that program, and she calls herself the Banso princess. I can attest she looks like one. But while we are at it, we're actually trying, Moki, to see why she made us proud recently.
What really qualified you to be selected among NASA engineers? You are a chemical engineer.
Exactly.
So what made you to be selected alongside these top of the top women in the world?
Okay. And one thing from the program is about self-branding, self-promoting. So I'm really going to promote myself right now.
Please do.
So the first thing is I'm the first English-speaking woman to actually hold a position in the reduction sector. That is the process supervisor. That position was mainly held by expatriates. So that's the first thing. And secondly, just a few months into my role, my new role as process supervisor, I had the best production since 2012. And on top of that, I'm also proud to say, like last year in December, we actually came up with the highest purity metal. That's a high-grade metal, which just has 2% impurity. So I'm actually proud to be working with Alucam and actually with an amazing team. So what qualifies is the fact that I'm the only woman in that sector. I'm the only woman amongst 500 men holding a leadership role. So the whole role and the whole objective of the program was about bringing these women together, empowering them. As I must say, that's just my story. I met 47 amazing women with different stories, different backgrounds, different challenges.
Did that energize you in any way?
I've come...
Yes, the energy. Wow, don't hit me. Yes, tell me, how did that inspire you now?
I've come back so empowered because I don't feel alone anymore. I actually have now a large network of people, and I feel inspired. I feel like I'm ready to take on the world.
Persis, you did that here around Kribia, Alucam.
Yes.
How did Americans know about it and selected you as part of this? Or how was the process carried out?
Okay, so the International Visitor Leadership Program is the U.S. Department of State's premier professional exchange programs where they bring in current and foreign leaders from different countries, different fields, be it academic, business, professional, to come to the U.S. and share. This program is not by application. The U.S. Embassy nominates you. So I was nominated by the U.S. Embassy here in Yaoundé into the program. And then they had over 120 nominations, but out of those, 50 of us were selected, of which 48 attended.
Okay.
Wow. So just tell us your experience there. Did you see women being capable of doing what we saw in the video we started there? They said they can rule the world.
I saw...
And then what is stopping you from doing that?
And that's why I said I've come back so empowered to take over the world. Like, I have so many big dreams right now. But one thing about the program is I met incredible women. I met a woman from Sandra Kaufman. She's from Costa Rica. She did not even know a word in English. She started and then she failed, she got up, she failed. But now she's the deputy director for the Earth Science at NASA. So it just shows you that we women and, you know, the whole program, you know, that we have that capability, we can do it. So that's how I've come back so empowered now, you know, to empower more youths as well and encourage young girls, because right now I've gone to the program, I've been inspired. I also want to share that with everybody, especially the young girls in Cameroon.
You're a chemical engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got this experience when you were trained. Were you trained here in Cameroon?
No, I actually got my bachelor's and master's from the University of Cape Town, that's in South Africa.
And then how did you find yourself trying to inspire other women, young girls?
Okay, so when I got into Alucam just right after my studies, and in Alucam we have an association of women working in Alucam, that's DAGA for French. It started in 2010. So what happened is DAGA came together in 2012, brought in some young girls from high school, 10 high schools in Idea, just to showcase to them like what we do, to actually encourage them to get into those STEM careers. So that's how it started, you know, that encouraging. And when you talk to young girls, you see that most of them have no idea of what they want to be in the future. Most of them don't even know, or like they say, you can't be what you can't see. They don't know. So that led to another program of which we're starting soon, which is a mentoring program, where we're actually going to mentor these young girls selected from the different high schools.
And when you discuss with them, what do they tell you is stopping them from achieving their goals? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it because they think they don't have the means?
Exactly. Majority of people actually come up with funding problems. Like some have the desire, others say language, others say, you know, just the fact that the culture, like they know that a woman is meant to be in the kitchen.
In the background.
Yes, exactly. So those are one of the challenges. And especially when you look at the classroom, when you see, you know, just 5 girls amongst 30 boys, so you actually see that, you know, that fear, can I do this?
But tell me, at this point, what are some of the things that you want to share about going beyond obstacles? You've handled the money issue, and it comes up often, but it goes well beyond money. What are some of the things you think you heard or you've learned in the past weeks that you want to share about going beyond your challenges?
Okay, the first thing is about mentoring, like having the right mentors. First of all, I've had 2 mentors. I'm currently being mentored as well. So having somebody to guide you throughout that journey. And another thing is not to be afraid to fail. Most of the times, like we had Colonel Jill Mongentakla, I hope I got her name right, and she said she was the only woman. There were just 3 women amongst 50 men during the U.S. Army, and she said she was afraid to fail because she knew failing meant all the other women failing. So most of the times we have that fear to fail. And another thing that has really pushed me, you know, they say a man, like if there's a promotion or a job opportunity, a man just needs to be 20% ready to go for it. But a woman, she needs to be about 80 to 90% ready before she can speak up and say, okay, I can take up this role. Those are most of the challenges. Also, as I said, mentoring is the key thing that we actually saw throughout the program. Having somebody to push you, having somebody to believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself.
This is a message from Honorine Berry. She's asking that, Percy, what have you brought back home?
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You know, Cameroonians are like that. Oh,
tell us what is in your bag.
I have a lot of ideas, a lot of programs, a lot of things, but let me just highlight a few. The first thing is screening of the movie Hidden Figures, as we've talked about. The whole program was inspired
by Hidden
Figures. Hidden Figures, where it showcases 3 African Americans back in the 1960s that did a lot of things to help a man go into space. So the first thing for me is actually screening this movie around Cameroon so people get to see, because sometimes, as I say, you can talk, but let them actually see and touch. And that's one thing too I learned. Like, don't just talk to the young girl. Don't just say, go and be an engineer or go and be an electrical engineer.
Give them something to connect with.
Exactly, to touch, to build. And so that's like one of the things, screening. And another thing too that bringing back home is the Society for Women Engineers. So I went to University of California, which was very, very interesting. They have an interesting program where they bring in young people and industry and merge them together. So alongside with Association of Women, that's DAGA, we're going to be doing more of that. And one of my favorite, I don't know if they're going to be showing, oh, there, good. One of my favorite, that's a young lady, that's Bowindim. She recently just had her PhD in aerospace engineering, that's in America. And when I spoke to her about this new program, Hidden No More Cameroon, because the whole program was about being hidden no more.
That you detect those talents and bring them to the fore.
We actually need a pool of these role models and mentors. So she's joining the whole movement. And when I asked her, I'm like, why are you going to join this movement? She said, it's hard to imagine the possibilities. There are a lot of things I wish I knew when I started. So my hope is that with a movement like Hidden No More Cameroon, we can collectively inspire the next generation of Cameroonian STEM leaders.
Persis, would I surprise you if I say Bowinding is my cousin?
Oh!
Yes, I like surprises. Sure, she is.
Who is she? What did you say she is?
She just had a PhD in aerospace engineering.
Yes, she did that. And before that, she's actually broken. It's about breaking barriers.
Yes.
And when women reach that level, you just have to celebrate them. Persis, I wish we had more time to talk, but definitely that's what we do. We open the window, and if you think it's interesting, hook up to us or find out about Persis.
And before she goes, please, just 1 second. I just gathered that you have an appointment with the U.S. Embassy today.
Exactly.
I wish you good luck.
You're on a trip again.
Yes.
Well, wish you a lot of success. This is the moment we take advertisement. It pays bills, so we don't joke with that. Advertisement, and behind that there is the 8 o'clock news.
Doing the laundry? For me, it's not complicated. You see, I told you so, right? It's easy and magical. My maid soap, 100% vegetable. Oh, 400 grams of happiness.
Maid soap is so perfect. Washing, cleaning, everything.
La peau de bébé est fragile. Elle n'a pas encore les propriétés protectrices qu'elle aura à l'âge adulte. Il faut éviter d'utiliser sur sa peau des produits conçus pour nous. Des produits souvent lourdement parfumés et trop agressifs. Il faut privilégier l'utilisation de formules conçues spécialement pour la fragilité d'un tout nouvel épiderme. Pour la peau de bébé, la nature nous a donné la glycérine et l'amande douce, qui renforcent les tissus cutanés et qui forment une barrière protectrice contre les agressions extérieures. Pour que les soins que vous donnez à votre enfant soient aussi naturels que l'amour que vous avez pour lui.
Moby Bébé, le meilleur de la nature pour votre bébé. Offre spéciale en ce moment dans vos marchés, au lieu de 2500 francs, achetez votre mini-pack à 2000 francs CFA.
Madame, bonjour. Monsieur, bonjour et bienvenue aux 8h sur la CIA TV. Ouvrons cette édition avec des moments de prière qui auront lieu tout à l'heure au Hilton Hotel. C'est à l'initiative de la Cameroon National Association Prayer Breakfast et pour la 8e édition, hommes d'église, sénateurs, députés, opérateurs économiques et autres fonctionnaires consacrent toute une matinée pour implorer la miséricorde divine sur le Cameroun et son peuple qui traverse une zone de turbulence. C'est vrai, Ali Gambili.
Comme par le passé, la matinée de prière et de méditation de ce mardi à l'hôtel Hilton épouse l'environnement sociopolitique dans notre pays.
C'est une prière qui est portée par la haute élite, des hommes et des femmes qui ont des situations de privilège. Ils sont dans le secteur du business ou dans le secteur politique et c'est eux de porter l'ensemble du pays dans la prière parce qu'ils sont la tête quelque part. Ils doivent être comme des locomotives.
Il faut prier pour la paix, l'union des cœurs, en associant toutes les ressources utiles à la cause.
Et nous voulons donc ramener à la conscience de ceux qui ont ces positions, ces privilèges, de comprendre que Dieu dirige la vie des nations. Et la prière, il faut bien le comprendre, disait quelqu'un, est la seule force capable de diriger la main de celui qui dirige le monde.
À la fin, il s'agit d'intercéder pour une meilleure cohésion sociale au Cameroun.
Autre actualité de ce mardi, c'est dans cet agenda feuilleté par Audrey Kwebo.
L'agenda de ce jour débute par la visite du ministre de la Santé publique André Mamafouda ce jour à l'hôpital de référence de Saint-Mélima. L'ordre du jour porte sur l'évaluation du fonctionnement du dit hôpital. Outre cet événement, le directeur général des douanes va installer les nouveaux responsables de la douane. La cérémonie est prévue ce mardi à 9h à l'hôtel de ville de Yaoundé. Aussi, l'arrivée des 250 migrants venus du Niger est prévue ce jour à 20h à l'aéroport international de Yaoundé-Simalène. Toutes ces informations seront développées dans les différentes éditions des journaux.
Le mouvement des associations et syndicats des mototaxis dit non au mouvement de grève annoncé pour ce jour dans la capitale Yaoundé. Ils l'ont confirmé au cours d'un échange qu'ils ont eu hier avec le secrétaire général de la communauté urbaine de Yaoundé, occasion pour le syndicat de dénoncer les abus dont ils sont victimes. Alain Roger Gounadjo.
Sous un soleil caniculaire, ils ont arpenté les artères de la ville de Yaoundé en destination de l'hôtel de ville.
On a dit que nous sommes des dessineurs, on savait quoi, il n'y a pas de sous-métier.
Eux, ce sont les membres du groupement des associations et syndicats des mototaxis du Cameroun qui expriment ici de vive voix les abus dont ils sont victimes.
Le problème, c'est que l'impôt libératoire que les mototaximens payent dans le département du Mfundi n'est pas consommé dans tous les territoires. Ça veut dire que quand vous payez à Yaoundé 1er, vous ne pouvez pas circuler librement à Yaoundé 6e. On dit tout simplement que la loi qui parle, n'est-ce pas, de l'impôt libératoire dit que quand tu as payé ton impôt, tu dois circuler dans tous les départements, sauf les zones interdites.
Ce rassemblement prône pour le dialogue et la paix, contrairement à un autre syndicat similaire qui a lancé un mot d'ordre de grève prévu ce mardi 21 novembre 2017.
Au lieu de parler, n'est-ce pas, d'une grève pour que, n'est-ce pas, notre pays connaisse ce qu'on a subi dans les années 2008, non, nous avons pensé qu'il est mieux de venir rencontrer l'autorité pour qu'on échange et puis que nos problèmes, qu'on les dit en face et que ce soit de manière pacifique.
Message aussitôt porté des doléances bien reçues par la communauté urbaine de Yaoundé via son secrétaire général, Eloa Gabriel Essoa, qui dit avoir pris acte de la situation. Le secrétaire général de la communauté urbaine était d'ailleurs porteur d'une lettre de félicitations du délégué du gouvernement pour leur acte de patriotisme et citoyen.
Le torchon brûle entre l'Église catholique et la population de Djinékom dans le Boyo. Nous sommes là dans la région du Nord-Ouest. La suspension de certains services de l'hôpital Saint-Martin de Porès par l'archevêque métropolitain de Bamenda a suscité un mouvement d'humeur. Ce sont des pratiques discriminatoires qui auraient mis le feu aux poudres. Et à ce jour, l'école primaire catholique de la localité a fermé ses portes. La chapelle ne fait plus foule. Situation de cette autre crise, c'est avec Augustin Guizana de CRTV Nord-Ouest.
Tout a l'air ordinaire à Djinékom. Pourtant, ce 16 novembre 2017, les reporters de la CRTV obtiennent une fin de non-recevoir à l'hôpital Saint-Martin de Porès. J'ai reçu des instructions de ne laisser entre personne, lance en anglais, ce vigile. Les grilles de la structure hospitalière sont infranchissables. Seuls quelques sœurs propriétaires des lieux sont aperçus de l'extérieur. Cet endroit traverse une crise sans précédent. Un communiqué de l'archevêque métropolitain de Bamenda, daté du 10 novembre, il suspend certaines activités, excepté les services d'urgence. Une pilule amère pour certains habitants qui ont pris d'assaut l'hôpital le 4 novembre 2017.
Il a écrit le message ici. Il y a un lettre qui a écrit pour envoyer ça pour le catholique là. Qu'elle a fait la suspension de l'hôpital, mais ça, ce n'est pas bon.
Selon un rapport du premier adjoint au maire de Djinékom, dont la CRTV a pu avoir copie, le comportement d'une religieuse aurait mis le feu aux poudres. Apprend-on aussi, les habitants s'opposaient au transfert de certains services de l'hôpital hors de Djinékom.
The population got angry that if they were coming to take away the equipment, Sister Olive, who was the matron, should better leave.
Nos tentatives d'avoir la version des faits de l'archevêque métropolitain de Bamenda ont été infructueuses. Mais son communiqué indique que la religieuse contestée a été affectée ailleurs. Dans le même document, Monseigneur Cornel Sontemessoa s'est dit choqué par la tournure des événements. Même l'élite d'Djinékom, dans son huis clos, surpris par notre caméra, a perdu le sommeil. Parlementaires, autorités municipales et intellectuelles, hors caméra, confient qu'ils ont transmis au patron de l'Église catholique dans le Nord-Ouest un mémorandum afin de désamorcer la crise. Une crise qui s'est déjà étendue à l'ensemble des structures appartenant à l'Église catholique. L'école primaire Saint-Anthony a fermé ses portes, les messes à la chapelle ne font plus foule, élèves et fidèles craignent des représailles. Pour l'heure, les populations en général et la communauté chrétienne catholique de Djinékom en particulier restent suspendues aux lèvres des autorités administratives et religieuses pour savoir la date du retour à la normale.
Hier, 20 novembre, était Journée internationale des droits de l'enfant et cette 5e édition s'est célébrée sous le thème « Mise en œuvre de la Convention des Nations Unies relative aux droits des enfants, consolider les acquis, accélérer le processus ». Dans la région de l'extrême nord, les abus et l'exploitation des enfants sont encore d'actualité et là-bas, on signale plus de 700 enfants qui sont victimes de ces violences. Le reportage de Aladi Mustafa de CRTV Extrême Nord.
Malgré la multiplicité des mesures législatives et réglementaires qui protègent les enfants contre toute forme de violence, ici dans la région de l'extrême nord, ces derniers subissent encore plusieurs formes d'exploitation.
Les types d'exploitation les plus récurrents sont l'exploitation économique. Dans la majorité des cas, les enfants sont utilisés comme main-d'œuvre. Et ils peuvent travailler pour des tierces personnes. Et il y a également des enfants qui sont exploités à des fins économiques sur le plan sexuel. Il y a des jeunes filles qui sont exploitées, qui sont mises à la disposition des hommes. Et derrière, il y a un proxénète qui récupère le gain. Mais de plus en plus, nous rencontrons des cas d'exploitation faite sur des enfants de sexe masculin également.
Selon les statistiques de Aldepa, plus de 700 enfants sont victimes de discrimination sexiste, d'abus et d'exploitation sexuelle. Pour lutter contre ces pratiques, l'ONG Aldepa mène des actions sur le terrain.
Nous faisons beaucoup de campagnes de sensibilisation et de formation. Le deuxième axe d'intervention, c'est l'axe gestion. Quand malgré toutes les dispositions que nous avons prises pour que ces choses n'arrivent pas, elles se produisent quand même. Nous prenons le cas en main et nous essaierons de le gérer. C'est la prise en charge psychosociale de l'enfant qui est victime et également de l'accompagnement de sa famille. Et le troisième axe d'intervention pour nous porte sur la répression. Dans le paquet répression, nous referons aux acteurs de la chaîne d'intervention qui sont censés faire appliquer la loi.
Des actions qui ont produit des résultats encourageants puisque plusieurs auteurs de ces pratiques sont aujourd'hui derrière les barreaux.
Madame, Monsieur, c'est ici que s'achève ce point d'information. Merci de l'avoir suivi. Le prochain journal, ce sera tout à l'heure lorsqu'il sera 12 h. Je vous laisse en compagnie de Pochitambasso pour la suite de Hello, le Cameroun.
Thank you very much, Marie-Laurence K. It's with a lot of love that we say goodbye to you.
Merci.
Till we meet again on Thursday. Have a beautiful day.
Merci.
She's a dancing lady. You need to see her on the dance floor. So to help her start her day in a dancing mood, let's give her freestyle. This is another moment with children down the streets. Just enjoy.
J'attends un appel de ma mère.
Ah, laisse tout ça. Mon ami, je dis, tu ne vois pas les filles. On t'invite à un joker et toi, tu viens pour taper les styles. Je wonder si toi, mon ami, il y a quoi? Si tu n'avais pas envie d'un joker, Mola, il fallait rester chez toi. Il faut pas nous gâter la fête, hein. Il faut pas nous prendre la tête, hein. Depuis, je te vois, on dirait que tu n'as pas l'air dans ton assiette, hein. Papa, si ça ne va pas, tu peux toujours aller te coucher. Parce que ici c'est la fête et tout le monde a l'obligation de bouger. On est là pour s'amuser, on est là pour s'enjailler. Même la police ne va pas nous arrêter. C'est jusqu'au matin qu'on va travailler. Il y a beaucoup de petites. Fais ton choix. Si tu ne sais pas comment faire, un mot là, fais comme moi. Récupère la petite, angoisser la petite, embrouiller la petite. comporte pas. Chez nous, le lait ne se donne pas. La vie appartient à ceux qui ne dorment pas. Amuse-toi, mon ami, et surtout arrête de cogiter. La vie est tellement belle, si tu as l'occasion de fêter, faut en profiter. Il y a les filles androïdes, il y a les filles choco. Il y a toujours de l'as, les manjaja.
That's freestyle on Hello Cameroon, and time for us to receive the sports guy, Benen Bumagana. Good morning. Happy to see you.
I'm glad to be here too.
We have entered the almost marathon phase of the program, so we're talking the Cup of Cameroon to begin with.
Yes, we're talking about the Football Cup of Cameroon. Already, Union de Mouvement Sportif of Loum are in Yaoundé for the match. They started training yesterday. They traveled all Sunday. They got to Yaoundé Sunday evening. And so they started training on Monday. The training will go on until they announce the date of the final, which has not been announced yet. Of course, you understand that every time it is announced, the President of the Republic has to be there. So, well, they have to work with the calendar of the President of the Republic. It has not been announced yet, but you know the Mouvement Sportif of Loum are already in Yaoundé, and they started training. They won the cup in 2015, and this time they're hoping that they can win the cup again. 5 of the players who won the cup with Union de Mouvement Sportif of Loum are still with the team, and about 5 of them play with national teams, the under-23, the under-20, and the auxiliary Lions. So the Union de Mouvement Sportif of Loum, they have the pedigree, they have the soccer core. I'm talking about the capacity to win this cup. But they'll be playing against New Stars of Douala. I'm not talking to you about New Stars now because New Stars are training in Douala. I'll be talking to you about New Stars on Thursday. They too are training very, very hard for this cup. New Stars, they do not have the kind of players that you have in Union de Mouvement Sportif of Loum. But what they have a naked determination. I'm very serious about that. They have their youthful exuberance and zeal. So you're going to have professionalism on the one hand.
See which one will come
clashing against youthful zeal and determination. Well, that is what is going to happen. And of course, there's been a lot of work going on at the Amado Ahijo Stadium. There you can see the Minister of Sports and Physical Education giving instructions that the place should be very clean. When the President of the Republic is coming, there shouldn't be any.
It should start.
Yes, there shouldn't be any dust.
Ben, and there is also a basketball tournament that's about to start here.
Yes, here in Yaoundé, it's a qualifier for the World Basketball Championship that is going to take place in 2018. 4 countries are going to be here. There is going to be Cameroon, you're going to have Tunisia, and they're going to have South Africa, and then you're also going to have Guinea. So 4 countries, and Cameroon, like always, Pochi, must come out strong, must distinguish themselves. They must be outstanding to go over to the World Cup. And finally, volleyball, Pochi, very quickly.
Volleyball, quickly, tell me.
The ladies, the volleyball lionesses of Cameroon, they left the country already. They're training out in Europe, and after their training, they will fly over to Germany, where they'll play their first match in the World Volleyball Championship, World Handball Championship, that is going to take place in Germany, Leipzig. On the first day, they're going to play against the Germans. So they've gone out of the country. I'm trying to say that for all volleyball lovers, you should be very, very watchful. And if you have a prayer to say, now is the time to say that prayer.
We have been in prayer for a while. We've been seeing the value of prayers. I mean, Cameroon, you were the one who said God could be Cameroonian.
God is Cameroonian. As far as sports is concerned.
Thank you so much, Benen Bumagana. What I'll do is I'll just give you 3 bananas. You decide for yourself which one you keep for Myra.
I know.
Here.
See, you know, I love Myra very much. I love Myra very much.
Well, while he's sorting out the banana, this message is coming from Bevina Solange. She says, I check my social media account as many times as I have the chance, especially as most often I work with my collaborators who are out of town. How often do you check your social media account? Myra, let me keep your banana quite close.
Please do.
We'll get to eat. Let's talk coconut first. That's healthy eating on Hello Cameroon. Tell me.
Great, Pochi. You like them? You like
I love.
coconuts?
Who doesn't? I'm still looking for somebody who doesn't like coconut. I love coconut.
Thank you. You're not asking me a question on that one. And let me start by probably telling you this morning. I go straight to the point because we're rushing. We got really VIP
The house
guests
is full
in the house, and so I need to be nice. All right. The first thing I'll tell you is that coconut water is one of the highest sources for replenishing electrolytes, and electrolytes are responsible for keeping your body hydrated, and that is to be able to enable the nerves and the muscles to function properly. So it is advised that if you
you are an athlete, if you're very physical in your daily activity, if you're a woman going through your menstrual cycle, you're having problems with your tummy like diarrhea, dysentery, you lose a lot of electrolytes. And the best way for you to be able to replenish this is to drink coconut water instead of going for the commercialized. Sorry if I'm spoiling anybody's business, but this is just true. And we love to tell it like it is on Hello Cameroon. Yeah, like I just did all the time. Myra is always spoiling at some point in time. And instead of going for those commercialized drinks, you usually don't know the contents, the number of calories, the sugars in it is just crazy, and the conservatives as well that are really chemically inclined. So you go for coconut water, or you choose any other fruits like bananas are really good to replenish your energy. And then coconut water is also very low in carbohydrates. It is almost fat-free and really low in sugars. On the contrary, it is higher in vitamin B and really, really great in ascorbic acid that you need. And then the flesh of the coconut itself is great at replacing your oxidative damaged tissues. So this is really a direction that you want to look. The oil in the coconut is really rich and comes with a chain of fatty acids that will be great in boosting your immune system. So instead of the fat sticking onto your stomach, it helps, burns out like energy, and that's a great way of oxidizing your system and then making sure that your digestive tract stays healthy. It supports your immune system. Ask me why. The first thing is antiviral, is antibacterial, is antifungal, and is anti-parasite. So I really don't see any reason why you're not adding coconut onto your panier du ménagère this morning. And it helps in the absorption of minerals and vitamins in your system. It's one thing consuming the minerals and the vitamins, and it's another one for them to be able to do what they have to do in your system. It's great in insulin secretion. There's good news for diabetic patients. So this is a direction that you could go as well. It will protect your body against cancers, reduce the risk of heart problems by producing and injecting more HDL or the good cholesterol, and then restores and supports thyroid functions and protects against kidney disease and bladder infections. So look no more into the mirror and ask, which is mirror, which is the most beautiful fruit for my skin, for beauty, for my hair? Go for the coconut, because you stay forever young. Catch me again on Thursday on the Beauty and Lifestyle page as I give you 10 different tips to keep your lips forever sassy.
You need to catch her though, because when she starts, it's like boom.
No, I was very nice today.
No,
very
you were
brief.
too nice. Thank you so much, Myra.
You're welcome.
I feel like giving you noodles just to thank you.
I know, but
you want the bananas.
I'm a banana girl.
Have the bananas.
Thank you.
The noodles will be for you watching us. This is our cooking page on Hello Cameroon, and behind that there is a world of culture in the house that we'll be discovering. But first, let's do some yum yum, and then we'll meet behind that. We're asking you to, just while we get ready for our cooking page, we're asking you to send to us how many times you check your social media account. If you still want to say something, this is your time. Let us know. But now it's the noodles on CRTV's Hello Cameroon.
Hello. Good morning. You once more welcome to Queen's Kitchen. This morning we're going to do a very simple breakfast. We're going to cook some noodles. First, we have our noodle, we have some minced meat, we have some carrot, green beans, and our tomatoes and some spices. We start first by boiling our noodles. We put the noodles into already boiled salted water. While our noodle is boiling, we prepare the sauce for it. First, we put in our minced meat. Well, once the meat is already minced, it doesn't take long to cook. We slice and add in our tomatoes. Okay. Now we add in our tomatoes and onion and let it cook for a while. Now we pour in a bit of oil, just about 1 cooked spoon, and a pinch of salt. The salt shouldn't be much because the noodles is already salted. Okay. We're adding our green beans and also let it cook for a while. We add a bit of cube for seasoning. A bit of white pepper, ginger and garlic. Now our noodles are ready. We strain them. Pour in a bit of cold water. So they don't get stick together. Okay. And we'll add into our sauce. It hasn't taken us up to 15 minutes to prepare, but it's well balanced and it's good to put in a child's lunchbox. As you can see, our lunchbox is set. This will make a child happy in school. Good morning, bon appetit.
It would definitely make a child very happy in school. Thank you very much for opening up your kitchen to us. And for those of you watching, if you want to do the same, please let us know. We are very happy to enter your home and show your talents to the world. Talking about talents, let's open a big page on culture at this moment. We're going to start with this Cameroon Green competition, which is organized by Mbunya Francis Kemyi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about this competition. I understand it's to value the environment, singing for the environment.
You're right.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, the Cameroon Green competition is an initiative that was born somewhere around May by the Resource Center for Environment and Sustainable Development. And the main idea behind the competition was to enable the youth give back to their community. So the initiative was to motivate you to come up with music that they can think about the environment and cause people to take action. So we started with about 200 youth that registered for the contest, and now we have the 10 finalists who will be going for the final competition on Saturday. That will be at the Moliko Stadium. And we'll have the final will be the ambassador for music for the environment, or we'll call it green music.
Okay.
It's an initiative to promote, we call it green music because we want to change the way music is understood by the society. Not just something that can just motivate you, but something that can also cause you to take an action. So that's the whole initiative behind the Cameroon Green music competition.
At this stage, the contestants that you have been with and you've listened to the work they do, how do you appreciate what you've heard?
It's been a whole big learning process because it started with 200. We had to go through a lot of process. There was a public audition that we shortlisted 50, and the 50 went on stage. We shortlisted 10. With the 10, we have been engaging with them in a boot camp. There was a 10-day boot camp where we actually trained them on several aspects, on several music aspects, on several culture aspects, and they also worked as a team to come up with beautiful pieces of music that could really give us knowledge about the environment, about how we can be healthy living, and it's also about a career, because one of the main things we want the ambassador or the winner to do is to be engaged. They say an award prize of 1.5 million, which is meant to engage the person in what he wants to do with music about healthy living.
Okay.
So to keep them in the face of the media.
You're here with one of the contestants. He's called Philson Dikembo, but I think he just prefers I will call him Philson. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I understand you're French speaking, but yes, please try to cook some English for us this morning. Why did you join the competition?
I joined the competition because there's something attracting me. When I see the team, Cameroon Green, and it's meant to make known to people our environments reflect what we are. And when when our environments are not good, we're supposed to stay not good.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. If your environment is not good, you cannot be good. But tell me, are you hoping to win? Of course you're hoping. You tell me, how big is your hope?
My hope is high. And by the grace of God, I know
you will win.
I will win.
I hope that you do, and it's a platform that is like this. Everybody has a chance, and I hope that the best will win. Let me ask you, Mbunya Francis, what is the message you want people to retain once the competition is over?
Okay, once the competition is over, the message I want people to retain is we want to change the way music is done by keeping the people that are the winner in front of our media. By making sure that it's just not a competition. This is the first edition, which is the 2017. Next year, we're also going to motivate or mobilize many youth to come up to try to compose music, and it's going to be something that goes on. So we want it to be like a lifestyle, that you can wake up with music telling you about how to manage your waste, or how to eat healthily, or how to keep your environment clean.
Okay, tell me, you've had persons from different parts of Cameroon, or they were predominantly from specific parts of Cameroon?
No, we had contestants all over Cameroon, like Fison. Fison is from the center region. We had contestants from the south, from the littoral region, from the northwest, from the southwest. So we have contestants all over Cameroon. And the 10 that will be competing for the award on Saturday, I think we had from the northwest, southwest, littoral, and the center, which actually made it to the end of the competition.
May the best win. And for those of you who missed out on this opportunity, next year is another chance. Keep your ears and your eyes wide open. Let's take a moment of advertisement, and behind that advertisement, we'll meet some more persons who are shaking the world of culture in Cameroon. Stay with us.
Bonjour voisine, que fais-tu quand tu as de la fièvre?
Moi, je me rends immédiatement chez Étienne, l'agent de santé communautaire du quartier, ou au centre de santé le plus proche pour un test rapide du paludisme appelé TDR qui coûte 200 francs CFA seulement. Si j'ai effectivement le paludisme simple, je reçois les médicaments appelés ACT qui coûtent 250 francs CFA. Le test de diagnostic rapide et le médicament du paludisme sont gratuits pour les enfants de moins de 5 ans.
Ceci est un message du ministère de la Santé publique et ses partenaires.
Let me show you this before I tell you. Oh, this is heavy. Makes somebody really proud. Someone, oh, my heart is right. This is from Afrima this year. So you guess who we have as guests, right? Montes is in the house. I wish you could just unfold the red carpet in front of you, but don't worry, we did it in the background. Montes, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm happy to have you here.
Me too.
And let me warn you, the social media is watching us. Like, everybody is like, they want to listen to Montes. So while you cool down, good morning to the lady who brought you here and who is a familiar face already on Hello Cameroon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you, Gina, for coming. Miss Gina Promotes. Check that out on social media. She is one lady who has her finger wherever culture is boiling. Now, Montes, how does it feel to carry something like this?
Feels nice, feels great. Yeah, it's heavy.
Oh, it is. But it's the weight of what you have achieved.
Yeah.
So it's good for it to feel heavy.
Yeah.
Now tell me though, how did you? Many people are asking why you won. I'm not one of those. I'm happy you won and thank you did. But what do you think worked for you at Afrima this year?
I think I did a good campaign. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And Miss Gina Promotes, you've been tailing her for a long time. Tell me, in your opinion, what do you think worked for her?
She did a good campaign, like she said, and also she had the faith that she's going to win it.
Okay.
That's why she traveled all the way from USA.
To come for it?
Yeah.
Tell me about your kind of singing. I've been watching your videos and I like what you do. But how do you present your kind of music to people who are not used to you?
Okay. Montes is a Cameroonian dance hall artist. I do reggae dance hall.
I choose to do reggae dancehall because I practically grew up singing reggae kind of songs, and because I wanted to do something different that is not common to people. Yeah, in Cameroon we have the Afro pop, the Makossa and stuff. Everybody identifies us when it comes to Makossa, you know. So I wanted to pick out something different that I could easily create my own identity in, because those of us who do reggae dancehall, we're not many in the country. So that's why I choose to do reggae dancehall.
And at this point, you have this award. What is the way forward? I assume you should be very proud of yourself. So yes, now, what is the next step?
I'm working with my team. We have projects that we're working on already. A couple of songs that I'll be releasing in less than no time. And come 2018, we're already working on my album. So
let's watch. Let's take an excerpt of what you do, because this is something we want to share with you. This is the kind of performance that gives you an award like this one. Just enjoy. This is Montez. It's CRTV's Hello Cameroon, and we are loving it.
When we sleep for tonight, me wake up in his morning dew. This pretty body love me long time, all the days of my life. It's so sweet like the honey, sure he come from the comb. And the way me see that uniform, you be a policeman. Me see loving in your eyes. And if we shoot the apple tree with your gun, we go see lovebirds, booty run. That's me and you from the east to the west. And now, boy, we got your loving. So I fell in love with a gunman. With a gunman, love with a gunman. L-O-V-E with a gunman. With a gunman, love with a gunman. They love the way you catch that criminal. They broke my heart and put me in jail for love. They love the way you handcuff the criminal. They try to take my happiness away. They love the way you catch that for one night. They took my heart and put me in chains for love. They love the way you handcuff the criminal. They try to take my happiness away. But you got to love you, to play the love game like the Zumba. You give me dance floor move like the Roomba. So take my heart away, it is a holiday. You give me sunshine, love for the summer. You play the love game like the Zumba. You give me dance hall move like the Roomba. So take my heart away, it is a holiday. So give me sunshine, love for the summer. Boy, they love me long time, all the days of my life. It's so sweet like the honey, sure he come from the comb. And the way me see that uniform, you be a policeman. Me see loving in your eyes. And if we shoot the apple tree with your gun, we go see lovebirds, goody run. That's me and you from the north to the south. And now, boy, me got your loving. So I fell in love with a gunman. With a gunman, love with a gunman. Hey, L-O-V-E with a gunman. With a gunman, love with a gunman. They love the way you catch that criminal. We broke my heart and puts me in jail for love. We love the way you handcuff the criminal. We try to take my happiness away. We love the way you catch that for one night. We took my heart and puts me in jail for love. We love the way you handcuff the criminal. We try to take my happiness away. Give me a run, give me a run, give me a run to the place of your loving. Give me a run, give me a run, give me a run to the place of your loving. Give me a run.
Me love that what, policeman? The gunman. Right. Oh no. Now, if you're wondering what kind of song she's doing, that's the kind of song she does. Tell me, Montez, how have people received your award, and what do you have to say to Cameroonians after receiving this award?
First of all, I want to say to Cameroonians that I'm very proud of them for voting me. Yeah, especially my fans. You guys are amazing. You guys are the best. Like, I could not have counted on any other person than you guys, you know. So I really want to say thank you guys so much for giving me this award. And it's not only about Montez, it's about 237, it's about Cameroon. So
it's definitely about us.
And that's why if you had watched my speech, I dedicated it to all Cameroonian artists. Yeah.
Well, that evening, we're definitely working hard to be able to broadcast it on the CRTV. So, yes, one of these days you could see how Montez got this award. Miss Gina promotes. Your job is to promote, and you're doing it wonderfully well. Tell me, what you were with Montez?
Yeah, I was with her.
How did you feel when you heard that she won?
I was so excited, and I feel like job well done.
And at this point, though, what do you think is the way forward for Cameroonians? Because a number of Cameroonians were nominated, but many didn't get it. How do you feel like? Any message for them?
One thing that I learned from my trip to Nigeria was humility. And I'll advise Cameroonian artists to be humble and vote when you're nominated. Do a campaign and vote. Encourage others to vote for you as well.
Do a campaign, because in any case, that's your last chance to get your music to those who do not know you, and to also get your heart to them. Sometimes it's the heart that votes. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to keep this quite close to you, Montez. Don't be afraid. It's not going to disappear. And ask, can I take both of you to Garwa?
Oh, yes.
To a cultural festival, the Guma Cultural Festival, the very first of its kind. Bruno Donui sat through the cultural festival and sent in this report.
Future for Cameroon's football. Members of the FECA Food Normalization Committee.
The Guma drum beats by an elder of the Gida clan enchants the ancestors for blessings upon those who united to celebrate the first ever grand cultural festival of the Gida people, the Guma Cultural Festival. The festival mascot was then unveiled and presented to the astonished crowds, with some getting the scoop of the events from friends and a widespread media promotion of the Guma Festival.
I've been traveling through Central Africa since 2010. And it's true that I've never been to this particular region. I've never been to Guider and surroundings. But I have some people from the origin of this land of Kada, and they invited me.
The stands created by the Gidas at the Gida Omnisport Stadium ceremonial ground for the festival had photographs and craftswork depicting the lifestyle and activities of ancient epochs of the Gidas, who are now widespread from Lam, Biu, Matafan, Bidza, Figil, Chad, and then to Nigeria, with a history dating as far back as the 13th century. This is an illustration of a typical Gida setting, with large families, the small herds, where it is said only people of good intentions can make their way in, accommodates them. Here, the family head engages in some sacrifices to the gods for the protection of his household. A neighbor in need is here to grind her sorghum with this mighty grinding stone in order to serve her own household. This residence is believed to be protected by the gods the man of the house serves, and no harm, be it physical or spiritual, can encroach on his household. Then the real deal, what most, both national and international tourists meet the festival for, the Guma traditional dance, where it is said only girls who are believed to be pure partake in. The Guma dance is the pride of the Gida people. Another dazzling dance at the Guma festival was the Kakude Libe traditional dance by young boys and girls initiated from childhood into the core, creating flatulent sounds with their armpits. Guests at the events were very appreciative of the rich Gida culture.
I'm very happy to be here to preside over this an important festival who name Guma Festival. You know, This is a feast of the culture. And culture is an important and essential for our heritage, our culture, and our civilization.
I really appreciate the show, as you call it. Very proud to see that Gida people are trying and doing their best to keep their culture alive, and we hope that other peoples around them will copy and do, why not better than them.
I was impressed about the scale of the ages who were performing. You know, I saw some little children dancing and chanting, and maybe then 3 or 4 generations older people doing the same, which really made me happy, because I see the culture is still alive. It's not something which only old people remember, but something which is being told and taught to the young generation.
The success of the event came as a fruit of an arduous task of a committed organizing committee.
It was very tough, but I'm happy that we succeeded to organize this meeting. I think for the future, for me, for the future, one thing we should do is mobilizing more people around the event. This is what was a bit difficult, because we were very few to organize it.
It was not easy. But you know, just because we believe that we know our culture needs to be promoted, that's why we spend nights and days really working on this festival, using different means of communication to assemble, to bring together the Gida people for this objective. One objective is to have this first ever Guma Cultural Festival. It's the beginning. We know that it was difficult, but we are happy that we saw thousands of Gida coming together.
The first ever edition of the Guma Cultural Festival extended to the evening hours, with local artists like Isnebo and Alpha Bari thrilling their visitors with exciting performances. The Guma Festival was also a platform where the Gida customs and traditions were being entrenched to the younger generations to ensure customs are preserved.
We are more than gifted in this country, and it's always with a lot of pleasure that we discover, like through Bruno Nduni's eyes, the cultural wealth of a country like Cameroon. We're asking you today to tell us how many times you check your social media accounts. And in checking mine just right now, I'm getting this message from Sama Joy, who says, I visit my Facebook account every day because I'm always online to do my research. And after that, I use the remaining megabytes to visit my page. That's a message coming from our Facebook account here. Of course, we're also connected, probably throughout the day. It's very cold, or getting quite cold and dry across the country. If you're feeling that cold, hook up with us every 6 a.m. and you have somebody standing by to give you a lot of warmth between 6 and 9 a.m. And if you are stepping out of your home and you don't want to carry the TV set, because you can actually do that, carry the TV set with you. If you don't want to do that, please hook up to the national station. It's 88.8 on your frequency band. Now let's look at jobs. After that, we'll look at recommendations for what we recommend that you watch on the CRTV. Beauty, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, last Thursday you told us this thing is called Ngongoro.
Mbongoro, yeah.
Mbongoro?
Yes.
Please, we're waiting for people from around Bangem, that part, Indian, to contest what it says, because we're looking for the name of this fruit. We went to buy it, and it turns out to be a very expensive fruit, and I'm asking what's special about it. It's scarce.
Good. There is a sister to that fruit, which is called Itoko. Itoko. That's what they call Alagata pepper. Good.
But this is not Alagata pepper.
This is not it. This is Mbongoro. This one has a bitter and a sweet taste, but the Alagata pepper is quite bitter.
If you knew Beauty when he was a kid, then you are probably from the same area. Please hook up with us and tell us the name of this fruit. But meantime, though, let's talk about jobs. For those of you who are looking at an opportunity to get a job or change your jobs.
That's great. This Douala-based company is needing the services of an executive assistant and a translator and interpreter. For the executive assistant, you need to have abilities to work under pressure, organizational skills, good communication skills, and you must also master the computer software that will be needed in the job. For the qualification, you need to have at least HND in marketing, in management, or in a domain related to business. And of course, for the work experience, they say you must have a rich experience working, because you would automatically have to carry out very heavy tasks as soon as you get the job. The documents include a curriculum vitae, a cover letter, that's your application letter, and copies of required certificates. You would have to indicate on your cover letter the expected salary, how much you wish to be paid at the end of the month. When you have that, you send to the email address you should have on the screen. That what you have on the screen, that's the first, that's recruitmentrh@gmail.com. Spell it the way you see it, without any mistakes, because if you look at the recruitment, you need to pay attention on how it is spelled before writing what you think. Now, for the translator and interpreter, you need to have an advanced degree, that's at least a master's in, they say, conference interpreting. But if you have a master's degree in translation and interpretation, and you've had experience to working, I think you stand the chance here. You have to follow the same procedures. For the requirements, they are the same. The documents are the same: CV, motivation letter, of course, your expected salary that you send to the email address that you have. That's the second and the first email addresses are the same. So you choose which one to send. That's it for the Douala-based company. It's a national company for that matter. Now, for what we have from Yaoundé, that's Foreign Investment Exchange Company, that's FINEX. FINEX are looking for a branch, or let's say a director, a commercial director, to work with their branch here in Yaoundé. You need to have at least HND on any diploma in marketing, business management, and in finance. If you have a diploma in any of those domains, you can apply. The documents are a curriculum vitae, motivation letter, copy of your national identity card, and copies of your academic certificates. When you have that, you send to the email address you find on the screen, info@finex.cm. info@finex.cm. If you want to drop at their office, it's at the May the 20th Boulevard here in Yaoundé, just down where you have the main principal hotel. Around opposite the main grandstand where the match pass is being carried out, you see FINEX in those offices on the line from down the major hotel, which I wouldn't want to venture with the name here now. So now we're now ending with this non-governmental organization, which is also very, very much involved in the domain of health, child care, mother nutrition, health, and also fighting malaria and HIV and AIDS. They are looking for workers to work with their management teams in Bamenda and in Douala. For the qualifications, you need to have a master's degree in marketing and communication, or if you have a first degree in marketing and communication and you've had rich experience working, then you stand a chance. It should also cuts across other disciplines like finance, business, management, and project management. Now, for the document, you need a curriculum vitae, motivation letter, copies of your academic certificates, and this you put in an envelope on which you go and drop in the offices. For Bamenda, the office is at Cow Street, Nkwen. For the numbers, as you have on the screen, you may call before going to drop. They may give you some details. That's 233-362079. 233-362079 for those who want to drop in Bamenda. For Douala, the office is at Carrefour Ajib in Dopachi, and here you need to contact them on 233-411112. 233-411112 to work with the non-governmental organization, like I said, Douala or Bamenda. Pochi, those are the opportunities for this morning. I'm sure I was not very fast, but if I was, then I'll probably invite you to join me on my Facebook page. Like, I also always check my social media accounts. I'll put that up in the course of the day. Rucha, why are you shy? You shy? I just said it.
Shy, you shy for us? Like, seriously. Thank you very much, Beauty T, for giving us jobs today. Yeah, and Rutia, as he already said, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Before you go shying for us, what do you recommend that we watch on the CRTV today?
It's Tuesday, there's plenty, and there's so much on the CRTV. I recommend you start at 10 10 a.m. on the CRTV with our health magazine, Health Watch. And this time they are talking about something that it's in our society, it's every day. And we're slowly but surely driving into the festive season. And you know, this is a period where people let loose, they get wild, they just want to do anything because they say it's a moment to relax, it's a moment to feel free, in quotes. But this time our Health Watch magazine is dwelling with youths beware, drugs kill. Drugs like cigarette, you have that, you have the cannabis, you have the marijuana, of course, and then you have other forms.
You have those in tablet forms that look like
crack and or not. So just be so careful. Youths beware, drugs kill is what Health Watch will be telling us 10 a.m. this morning on the CRTV. Then I'll be taking you to 12:30 where it is time, like the girl says it herself, to relax your tie, and then you sit on your couch and it's time for Media Live, some music and food. And we're having someone, it's something that it's been in the news, Grass Motor, the syndicate of the bike riders in Cameroon. They were trying, of course, thank God they did not go on a strike action. I'm praying God for that, of course, because the president is someone who is firm, is someone who knows how to guide his people. But today he'll be talking on Media Live what Grass Motor is all about. And Grass Motor, what they do, how do you want to join that? I'm talking most especially to bike riders. How do you want to be part of Grass Motor? Your president will be telling you about that today on Media Live. So do not miss. Fongang Ferdinand Sangba is his name, is the president of Grass Motor, the national president, I beg your pardon, of Grass Motor, and he'll be telling us more about Grass Motor today at 12:30 on the CRTV, and then at 5 p.m. For those of you who want to fall bush, Follow is dwelling. Follow is dwelling today about that. That's Follow Me on the CRTV. It comes up at 5 p.m. Today their topic is l'immigration, immigration for you in English. And for those of you who want to fall bush, this is December season. The bush followers are coming back. Some of you are aspiring. What do you want to go do there? They always say in code, we want to go hustle, but others go for education. Others go for whatever reason they deem necessary.
Others go and end up being sold as slaves in Libya.
Yes, in Libya. Yeah, so it's heartbreaking. Bird, l'immigration, Follow Me 5 p.m. on the CRTV. And then at 8 p.m. on the CRTV, we'll be talking about formation professionnelle au Cameroon, a new era. Yes, the other day I did a report about training, and it's what Cameroon needs right now to be able to kick out unemployment in our society. So formation professionnelle au Cameroon, it's a new era, it's a new dawn. It comes up at 8 p.m. on the CRTV, and then I'll be ending with Big Trouble at 10:24 p.m. on the CRTV. I love trouble.
Yeah, big one coming at
big
night.
Big one is coming at night on the CRTV 10:24. But meanwhile, you log on to www.crtv.cm for more news on Facebook, of course, CRTV Web. Log on to Facebook, CRTV Web. And then if you want to tweet and we'll follow you back, or you want to follow our tweets on CRTV, is CRTV_web at CRTV_web. Twitter for you.
Thank you very much, Ruth Angel. Do you want some fruits?
I want the whole basket. I'm so selfish.
So just hold your peace. Let me read this message that is coming from one of our resource person here. He's sending us a message of love and gratitude. Unfortunately, we cannot read all of it. It's quite long. It's the president of Asa Fonyam and Angui Foundation, the greenhouse that did, which helped us with the report on the tomatoes that we had on the program. If you're into something new, something creative, share with us. We'll take our cameras there and we'll tell your story to the world. That's what Hello Cameroon does. We like to open windows and then push you through. We hope for you, Dr. Asa, that the window is now open and others can come find out what you're doing. On Thursday, we'll have another greenhouse expert, Roland Formunda. He's coming with basket of fruits. So stay with us, stay with CRTV, and it continues. Tomorrow at 6 a.m., Eric Christian will be here to say bonjour, Le Cameroon, for another 3-hour moment with you. For us, it's till Thursday. Bye-bye.
et les monarques.